I'm ready. You're ready. We're all ready. It's Sunday night. Time for another episode of At Weeks in the Spoiler Field. Look back at this week in comics, movies, and more. And this week, we have a couple of exciting new things to talk about, including Guillermo del Toro's brand new Frankenstein film, episode 2 of It, Welcome to Derry, and then a few news topics and some books that we're going to be diving into. The next extension to the DC event, KO, is here. Rook Exodus is back. A brand new era in the Justice Society of America. And if you were a fan of the Batman Absolute Annual 2025, JSA is a book for you. A can't miss opportunity for you. We'll be getting into all that and more right after this. Back with the stack panel with the guys. What's going on, Sector and Burke?
What up? What up?
So it's a brand new era of the JSA by going back to a previous era of the JSA, actually.
Then.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about that because all the hype in comic books, you know, there's been a massive surge in the past week of people going to stores, buying comics, talking about comics, and it was all thanks to not just Absolute Batman. That's been around for a while, but a specific reason behind Absolute Batman. And if that reason holds true, if society has any consistency whatsoever, which I'm assuming it does, they would love JSA Year 1, Book 1.
Yeah, and DC, I mean, besides everything that I did in September and everything, or October rather, last week DC had 4 of the top 5 titles.
They did.
Yep.
Absolute Batman.
No, absolute KO, Night Fight, Batman.
Let's go. Crushing it. And I'm sure they probably had a few more in the top 10. The one that we looked at earlier today, Paul, when we were recording, even Green Lantern and Flash from the Absolute world, they weren't in the top 10, but they were number 11 and 12. Like, they were right there.
Absolute Green Lantern was number 5 for the week. That's
really good.
It beat everything but Amazing Spider-Man. DC.
Solid.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a massive appeal to just from the collector aspect. Even when ASM is at its worst, which, you know, we have a lot of friends in this community that get ASM good, bad, or indifferent, kind of like how I do with Hulk. Whether it's good or bad, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to fight my way through it or enjoy it, one of the two, but I'm going to read it. And there's a lot of ASM people like that, more so probably than any other title, except maybe Batman. Probably around the same number. If Batman's bad, people are still not going to break their run. But that's impressive to see something like Absolute Green Lantern up there. We're not front running a main Green Lantern even, and it's not part of the Trinity. Marvel really doesn't have a Trinity. They have Spider-Man.
I mean,
put in Marvel's Trinity.
It's got to be Iron Man, Thor, and Cap, right? I mean, but I guess that's the MCU. I guess the Trinity would have to include Spider-Man. So I don't know what the other two would be.
Definitely in the comics would have to be.
I mean, I would
be part of it.
Cap would have to be one, right? And then
popularity and sales wise, Spider-Man is their Batman.
Yeah, it is. It'd have to be Spider-Man, Cap, and I don't know who their third would be.
And I don't even think Cap would be in their Trinity. I think for iconicness, like I think he should be, but I don't think
100% should be.
I don't think the sales and the draw reflect it. It's kind of like Deadpool. Everyone loves Deadpool. Everyone will go watch a Deadpool movie. Everyone will get cultural references, love merch, love t-shirts, but it's minuscule the number of people that actually pull and read a Deadpool comic.
The reason why I don't think Marvel has a Trinity is because only DC has Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman that have been continuously published for more than 85 years. Even through all of the where they weren't doing superhero comic books, those 3 still had their books coming out.
That's fair. And I guess they organically made it to the top spot. There was a lot of heroes all the way back from the Golden Age to now, even with National and DC, a lot. And those are the ones that just came out on top. They were just the ones. And they also, in that case too, Paul, not only did they've been around consistently, they had a head start.
Right.
Because like Marvel really didn't start its superhero thing in full force till like the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, you had Cap in the 40s, but then he disappeared for 25 years, you know?
They had other stuff to do. Let's say hey to the chat.
He was chilling.
Yeah.
Chilling like a villain, baby.
He got a phone call from Peggy, and she said, hey, when you're done at work, we need to talk. And he's like, nah,
I'm going in the ice.
Nice. I'm gonna dodge that conversation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's Crucius clocking
Bringing her
in. We got Las Cruces clocking in first. Bob's had 2 messages before mine. I guess they fell off. Yeah, they timestamp out. But big shout out to Pop then. Happens to me all the time. No idea why. It's because they only hold them for a certain amount of time. And then if it's too early, they timestamp out. What is going on, JSS? Let's go. We got Rich in here. Comics Cap. What is up, homie? Hope you're doing good on this glorious Sunday. And we got JSS dropping the $1.99 super chat. Let's start. I feel like that's very demanding. And I saw that before we hit live. And I said, time to start.
Time to go.
Thank you for the reminder. Also, May Jump as Frankenstein is up watching tonight. Also, May Jump. I feel you hadn't seen it yet. Got you. Yeah, I'll tell you now. It's good. It's good. I think just a little teaser. I think it's really good, but it could have been great. But I think it's really, really good. And I'm very biased, I think, when it comes to Frankenstein. Flash Ray, what is going on? Good to see you in here, homie. What's up, John? Welcome to the Legion. Don't forget there's custom emoji. You gain access to those by joining the Legion. Birkenstein. Oh.
Me.
Mark Paul with the epic T and Steve with the legendary shoulders. There you go. Oh, yeah, we did. This was not planned. The Superman thing. I just wear what feels. I wear what feels right. What feels right is the Snyderverse.
Mark did put on a backwards cap because I put one on.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he definitely started the backwards hat trend.
Snyder is not doing anything to not warrant people keeping that shirt around.
Dude, we're gonna have to get into that for sure. Remy Q Studios says Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Hulk for the Marvel Trinity. Dude, I think that's a solid one. Hulk is definitely in my personal one, and I think like when Hulk's written decent, he definitely sells really well. You don't have to write Hulk great for it to sell well. Like right now, Hulk's not being written great. PKJ is, I think he's trying to do too much and it ain't really playing out great, but there's parts of it that are really good. But when Al Ewing was writing Hulk, Immortal Hulk, that was killing it. What's going on, Bart? I was just talking to him before the stream as well. Spidey, Cap, and Hulk were the Marvel Trinity in the Bronze Age. That's the Mike Zeck era of Cap, isn't it? Paul's like, I don't know. I bought DC.
Yeah, I'm like, well, the Bronze Age was 70 to 85, and in the early 70s, it was more Gil Kane and Ross Andrew, I think, were probably doing Spider-Man, and I don't know.
I think I was picturing that 80s era. You know that famous cover where he has his head down and the flag is painted behind him, like running down under his feet. Timely Trinity was Cap, Hubby.
You mean Subby? He corrected himself later on. Yeah,
Torch.
Yeah, Captain America, Namor, and the Human Torch were the three from the only three from the Golden Age, really.
What's it called when someone gives you the letters out of order and you have to solve it in an anagram or something?
Trouble.
A standard text message from me.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. What does it mean? Yeah, it means Mark wrote it.
Watch him while holding the baby. There you go. We'll keep it. We'll keep it appropriate. Then we'll keep it appropriate. He's not liking it. Not liking it. Autocorrect hates me. Ruby G, White Tiger, Triple C, calm, cool, and collected. The man, the myth, the legend. Go get you some art from White Tiger, Triple C. With every purchase, not only do you get a phenomenal piece of art from White Tiger, Triple C on Instagram, you also support this man and his brand new family with his new baby as well.
Yep.
It's good crawling all over the place and standing on his own already. Wow.
So am I.
You're in for it. Yeah, it goes fast is probably the realest statement that I'll hear or read all day. Truer words have never been spoken, Steve. And you didn't even speak those; you just typed them.
Yep, absolutely.
Pop said it a lot since the kids are little. Blink and they're grown, and that's so true. Did you see Lego is doing a full Power Rangers Megazord? Steve, I'm gonna let you take that one.
Yeah, I did. I'm not a big Lego guy though.
You want the Dragon Zord instead?
I want the Dragon Zord instead. I do want the Dragon Zord instead. I've not seen a Lightning Collection Dragon Zord yet. So I don't know what's going on there. You know,
I'm the same way. I'm not a Lego guy at all. Even as kids are getting a little older, like I don't even think to go show them Legos or anything. Just never was my thing when I was little. And when it comes to toys, like, why do I want to have to put it together? It'll look like it's made out of blocks, and it won't look. I'd rather have the original. Give me the vintage, and I have it. I have one still sealed in the box, and I have one out of the box. Don't worry about language's favorite shows, Deadly Catch. My son's been army crawling now. He's about 4.5 months. Good grief. I like how everyone had babies around the same time.
Yeah, for real. We know what they were doing. My kid crawled for like 2 weeks and then started walking. Like she didn't want to crawl until about 11 months. And then she started crawling. And then a week or two later, she was walking.
She's like, man, I really missed out on so much. I should have been doing this sooner.
For real.
3 weeks later, she was on the balance beam.
Yeah, dude, doing front flips off of it. Exactly. Front flips off of it.
And did she compete at like a state level yet, or is it just regional?
Oh yeah, no, she does a state level competition. She does USAG and then AAU meets as well. We do about 2 a month from December all the way through April last year, and we had a state meet last year, and she was in first place going into the final event, and all she had to do was not fall off the beam, and unfortunately that's what happened, and she dropped her from first to sixth, and she cried the whole way home. But a month later, we're at AAU championships for the state AAU, and same thing. She was going into the final event. It was beam. All she had to do is not fall off the beam, and she did not fall off the beam. She learned from it. She stuck it, and she was a district champion. And she was so excited. She was so excited.
Cool. I was going to recommend like putting like glue on her shoes or something.
Well, you don't wear shoes when you're in gymnastics.
On her feet. I should know that Monkey's in gymnastics. Monkey's class is on a time of week where I'm always at work, so I've been able to make it to only a couple of them when it's like out of regular schedule stuff. But she loves it. Monkey was in ballet for a long time, and she was just watching gymnastics video like Ninja Kids and other stuff.
Yep.
And she would just she'd be mimicking it at home, and she got quickly bored with ballet and tap as soon as like she could start doing that stuff on her own. She's like, I want to go do this. It's more dynamic.
My kid said the same thing. Absolutely.
And we actually got to go see the Ninja Kids this past summer. We got to meet him and everything. It was really cool.
I heard they were canceling their Power Rangers stuff.
Yeah. That trailer came out and they immediately took it down. The only way you can even see the trailer for it is people's reactions videos for it before they took it down.
So why is that? Do you know?
The AI backlash.
Wow.
They've done like Power Ranger stuff way in the past, like before I ever knew about the Ninja Kids because my kids weren't old.
It was all green screen stuff back then. I was like before AI and all that.
Obviously. Yeah, and it's all like, dude, this is like
it's pretty good.
A family of YouTubers that do gymnastics for a living, doing something Power Ranger themed. That's cool. It's getting other kids into Power Rangers. This new trailer, like I thought it looked like this is high quality production
good
for the Ninja Kids. Like, what's wrong with this? I mean, I gotta watch Ninja Kids anyways. They might as well be fighting Goldar.
Right.
You know what I'm
right. Absolutely.
Bart said that the Lightning Collection Dragon Zord came out about 2 years ago, but the Lightning Collection Hasbro line US dead for over a year now. Playmates says Power Rangers for now.
I'll have to check it out.
And when I say he would know, you already know, Steve.
Oh, he knows.
He would know.
He would know. He would know.
He has all of them. He was featured on these guys with this massive channel that travel the world looking at people's collections and stuff. They reached out to him and featured him on an episode of it for his Ranger collection. Higher. Okay. That's it.
I actually have one here.
Oh, wow.
It's on my wall. This is signed. Let me just take this out. Shout out to Karate Kevin. He went to a JDF signing.
Hey, we know him.
Before obviously and all that happened, and he got this sign and he sent it to me.
Nice.
So I do have a Dragon Zord, but it's signed, so it's not coming out of the package.
Oh, that's all. It looks better on card than it would out.
And speaking of Funkos,
Ooh, higher.
Nope.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
signed JDF1. Shout out Chino and Manny.
So we'll be talking about Funkos here shortly. And I do have Funkos. I've got a lot of just Superman Funkos and Tommy Oliver Funkos. I've got the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the White Tiger Zord, the Dragon Zord.
Hell yeah.
I'd spent like 3 months, it was like a 3-month fling I had with Funko back in like 2017 or 18 or something like that.
Right.
I heard through the grapevine after this year, McFarlane Toys won't have the DC at the end of 2026, but a lot of 2026 will be the transitional period where he's tapering off as it's going back to oh my God.
Doing lots of sports.
Who's it going back to?
Doing lots of sports. He's going to Ghost Machine.
No. The DC Universe line. He's going right back to who had it before McFarlane.
Mattel's going. It's going to
Mattel. Yeah, so we're going back to a less collectible, more buy it for your children type toys, which is fine.
I don't know. This will be the second swipe. Maybe Mattel, who's learned something from McFarlane.
I know a lot of people will be excited because most likely they'll keep it as the 6-inch action figures. I like the McFarlane does the 7-inch action figures because I'm not trying to cross display them with other stuff. I just like McFarlane stuff. What's going on, David?
I love
New Year. How you guys doing? Doing good, man. Hope you're doing well as well. Welcome in.
I love the way he says display.
Maybe I have a huge family, but I doubt it. I don't know. I've got 3 kids. I think that's pretty average. 2 or 3.
I asked him if he was related to Dan Mora.
Oh, Dan Mora.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the biggest comic book artist in the game right now. The trailer is still on Twitter. I have it saved on my bookmarks. Yeah, you can find it out there, but the Ninja Kids, they took down their stuff.
I feel bad for them, but at the same time I don't. They're super rich. They've made a ton of money.
Oh yeah, they're great. And who knows? They might be reworking it, and going back into it. They've already filmed it all.
Yeah, might as well keep going, right?
Yeah, there's no way they're not going to put it out. I think they're just going to tweak some of the special effects stuff. I don't know why anybody would care about the Ninja Kids using AI special effects.
For real.
That doesn't even make sense. Speaking of Power Rangers, I saw that the Legend of the White Dragon film is finished and in the hands of the distribution people. Yeah, we'll see. I didn't read that email. No, this is the most frustrating thing in the world. Way back in 1956, Pick Up Sticks, they did a Kickstarter with Bat in the Sun Productions with Jason David Frank to do a non-Power Ranger movie called Legend of the White Dragon. Filmed it all. Got some other notable actors in there. I forget who's in there. But then he passed away, so they've done everything they can to not release this movie, to make it perfect. And you get updates about once every 3 months on why they haven't released it, and they answer questions that nobody asked and talk about. We'll do a live stream and talk about it. Like, we don't want to talk about it, just mail the thing out already. But if it's finally in the distribution people's hands, that would be great. That would be super duper. My name is in the credits. So I backed it at a high enough level. That'll be fun. I just want to watch the movie.
It was supposed to be released in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
2020.
And I promise you it won't be released this year unless they're like trying to pull the December thing.
Yeah, I mean, they were filming it in, 2017, whatever.
Yeah, and Coco, that's what we were mentioning, that post, that statement that went out that Funko's cooked. I don't know how many people saw it, but the guy who runs Funko came out and said, we if we're lucky, we'll last another year, but we're cooked.
Yep.
Did y'all ever get into Funkos? Paul, I know you got that.
I got a couple back here, but
I think
really.
Everyone accidentally ends up with a couple at the very least, right?
I don't know if you guys can see those, but shout out Oregon Wime for hooking me up with a bunch of. You guys can't see them. There's a bunch of Flash Funkos over there and all of that. But yeah, I do have some.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just kind of they like. I only have Green Lantern Funkos, or ones that people have given to me, or I've won somewhere, something like that. I think they buy the ones that for the characters that they like, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
There are very few people that I know of that will just say like, I need every Funko.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I think there's way too many for that at this point.
Yeah.
It's like comics, man. You can't get them all.
I wonder Dude, I never once looked at Funko and thought that was some kind of viable, long-standing market. Never once looked at them and thought that a day in my life. And I've always been baffled that when you go into a store, how much real estate in these stores are dominated by Funko. And you don't ever see like empty slots on shelves. They're always completely full shelves, but it's been like that for years. So they're clearly selling some and getting more in. And I know that at the time, years ago, I had a buddy who would try to watch their website for specific drops that they would do. And I guess those were more desirable. And I'm sure there's some out there worth a lot. But I haven't heard of people chasing down Funkos or looking for this exclusive one, or people arguing online about bots buying them up, the standard stuff.
It's been like 2 years since I've heard that, maybe 3 or longer.
The Playmate figures are already on clearance place, including my Walmart for $6. There you go. I'm an Imaginext guy myself. Those are fun. I still have, and I don't see myself getting rid of. Finn got the Imaginext Megazord when he was little, and it's like 3 feet tall. It's ridiculously awesome.
If Funko goes out of business, well, I mean, I guess people can still sell the stock that they have, but there'll be a lot of open space at a lot of conventions.
Did you guys see what James Gunn said today?
I'm afraid to ask that. And I have a whole video note to make a video about his James Gunn sabotaging the DCU, like unintentionally, just with how much he talks about stuff.
Okay, well, he said that Superman made $100 million and it's approaching $150 million in net profit.
Yeah, I can see that. That actually tracks. Like if you go back and watch that video I did breaking down how this movie actually makes money, that's like the figure I had in there. Because all the home video on demand stuff, the physical media sales, which they ran physical media sales, and I showed where like the steel books, which are the highest price ones, sold out everywhere. And then the streaming you get, I don't understand. No one understands streaming. Even people who run streaming services don't understand streaming. Right. But apparently they make money somehow.
Right.
I don't know how. And then the social media money that comes in.
I'm assuming licenses, but I don't, who knows?
That's mentioned in there too, with a lot of licensing of merchandise.
Yeah.
It's so late. It's going to be a period piece when it releases. Yeah. Talking about Legend of the White Dragon. I've seen some pictures on Instagram after the show. What's he talking about? They actually remind me, I did buy all the DC Imaginext Metal Force toys, and am I crazy? Are these death metal toys for babies? Is there another series called Metal with mechs? It could be referencing. I think it's the only one I know of.
I got some books coming from Paul soon.
All right, here we go. It's not canceled yet, but Hasbro wasn't aware of all the AI and the huge backlash. The Ninja Kids got some budget from Hasbro to put the attention on the. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe Bart knows.
Your internet's kind of being
you're lagging, Mark. Now you're frozen.
But you know what? Paul and I look fantastic. We really do. I mean, shoot. Just put Paul full screen.
You're very pixelated right now.
He is. He's frozen. Yep. And we can just take over. Yeah, there, perfect. Look at that.
Boy, that red really pops.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. I'm thinking about sending that book to CGC because I got a bunch of books I want to send to CGC, but they keep messing stuff up. I'm like, well, if I'm going to send anything, I might as well send some books that are not like 9-8 books. And I guess it doesn't matter if they get another spine tick or not, because that one has a couple of them. So,
and maybe it'll even come back signed. Who knows?
Yeah, right. It'll come back with a yellow label. It'll come back with a yellow label. Oh, it should be here on my birthday. Sweet.
Nice. When's your birthday?
Wednesday. This coming Wednesday. That's when my books from Paul should be here, which is perfect.
Actually, Joe, I lent Mark my internet.
Am I still frozen? Because I can definitely hear you. I'm moving on my end, so I can't tell on my end.
Yeah, no, you
are
lagging.
Yeah, you're frozen and then not frozen and frozen and not frozen.
Oh, well, since y'all are here, I'm gonna pop out and then pop back in.
Okay. Sounds
Right,
good.
we were talking about Dan Moore before. Did you see Dan Moore also said that he is going to cut back his output next year? He's going to only be doing one DC book after he finishes his 8 DC books that he's currently doing.
I'm not surprised by that. I mean, you grind and grind and grind until you get that big contract, and then like you grind a little bit more, and then you're like, okay, I've made it. Probably made enough money that I can be fine for a while, and I don't want to be stressed out. So totally get it. Totally get it.
Yeah, and I also see. I mean, I you can imagine, when it's convention season, that to do the level of stuff that he's doing during convention season must just be crazy.
Right. I mean, and he did what, Future State, and what else did he do? Like he's done like he designed every character.
He did
for
Absolute Power. He did Justice League Unlimited. He did. He's doing Superman.
World's Finest.
He did World's Finest. Now he's doing Transformers. And he's doing the DC KO Night Fight. And he does like every single cover. It seems like at least one of the covers for every single.
I love it.
John says all my CGC books that have come back are the opposite of Steve's submission.
Hey,
perfect.
To CGC's credit, they gave me a $35 credit to use for
how sweet of them.
I was gonna say, when you said it's gonna arrive on your birthday, I should say, well, then by Friday we should have a new video.
there's no way it'll be correct. No way.
Oh no, I'm sorry. What's coming on Wednesday is not from CGC. It's
okay.
My book's from Paul.
Okay. All right.
And that's only been messed up.
Just the Green Lantern Zerdy cover got
just the one time. Yeah. And I actually gave those away in that box and my sleeves for C3. So
yeah, that's a wicked cover too.
It was, man. I was upset about it because there was two, one foil and one regular. So
yeah, but to be like, man, I'm not gonna lie. Like early on, I thought you were kind of persnickety about some of the CGC submissions. Like, oh, the case looks a little this, the case looks a little that.
Sure, I get that.
But then, over time, you get a book back you were a victim of what they call it, Banana Gate, where your book is actually curved to a point of it, to the point of it nearly breaking the color, causing damage to your book. And then you have when they were dealing with the Newton ring thing, you're having the books that had the inner well was too small for the outer well, and they're shaking around. And people had done other videos showing where that was damaging their books. That means it could harm your books. And
my team. Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say
the Superman book that you submitted in person at Heroes Con, that they gave to you back in person at Heroes Con with a yellow label on a book with no signature, on a book that you couldn't even mistake that there should have been a signature.
That is just over your right shoulder.
It's an all blue cover with yes. How can you mistake there's no signature?
Maybe that's why Superman signs it, just the S.
Who did they say that it's signed by?
It doesn't say that.
Signed by nobody.
There's nothing.
They just ran out of blue labels and said, "Forget it, just do it anyway."
And then my team in T1 came back, and the inner well was not good, and the book slid to the bottom and could have really messed up the bottom of
the book was actually moving inside.
It was literally moving, and that's one of my more expensive books in my collection. Yeah, I've had some bad luck.
So it got to a point where I'm like, okay, so at this point, in all sincerity, with any business with customer service, when you're paying for, the name of the company has got quality in the name, right?
Is that guaranteed?
Certified guarantee.
Yeah, but you get none of that.
None.
You get none of that, and the whole point of encapsulating it is to preserve it in its current state, and that's not happening. And if the one thing at the most minimum that you're trying to accomplish by giving them money isn't being done ever for you, and it's a point where it's okay, at this point, he's not only allowed to be persnickety, he should be persnickety. At this point, they don't owe you a credit. You've already paid them the money. Right now, giving you a credit just means that they're saying, we'll fix our mistake. They didn't give you a credit. They just agreed to correct their mistake that you already paid for. Right. They haven't given you anything. And my, the time that it takes away from it alone, after at least 6 to 10 problems, that's just crazy. And I'm the first person to be like, it's not that serious, I don't care. But that's ridiculous even for me.
It's been 5 months since I had that book signed and dropped off at the con. 5 months.
With the advanced remark on it from Bartling, right?
Yeah, yes. And I still don't have it back the way it should have been. That is crazy to me.
Yeah, and I'm with John. I haven't had any issues with them. I don't self-submit a lot. I buy a lot of stuff already slabbed, and
I guess I need to do that.
Pops doesn't have any issue. Well, I mean, if you get something remarked and you're trying to encapsulate, you really don't have that option, you know?
And it's a sick remark. It really is.
Mm-hmm. Every time you watch it, it'll be like, what's going to happen now? Books upside down. Yeah, dude, literally.
It's happened to people.
I mean, can't even imagine how you must feel, because we've seen you open them live in unboxings that you do, and just watching your excitement, and then you're just like, wait a minute. And then you're like, oh, well, I mean, and trying to like go through your emotions. Is this okay? Is this not okay? And then you just start noticing more and more, like, did they drag this one behind a car? Like, why is it?
I've dealt with some stuff, man. Like all CGC stuff has been pretty bad for sure. But I would say the worst thing that I've dealt with was I was at a con. I don't even know how many years ago it was. I think it was 4 years ago at this point. 2021. I bought a Tech 359 first Batgirl. And I was like,
that's on you. That's on you.
I asked to see the inside, and they said, yeah, he flipped it right to the middle. There was no issues. He closed the book. I bought it. I came home. I was on a live talking about it. I opened it up, and then I started just going through it, and I realized pages were cut up, and I was like, oh my God.
Someone made a collage out of the interiors of the first.
And I'm sure the people that sold it to me think I did that, and that's obviously not the case. I drove all the way to Kansas City to return it. And thankfully they did give me my money back. But I shouldn't have had to do that.
I got this complete set from Dead Media, because they sell like mini series already grouped together, and it's called The Star Wars. It's the original the original screenplay for Star Wars, you know, with Luke Starkiller and stuff. It's phenomenal.
Nice.
Like
Nice.
I don't know if it's just how it's so different, but it's more exciting than the original at this point. But when I got it and I started reading it, I'm like, yo, this is missing a page. And then I kept reading, like, well, it didn't mess up the story. And I kept reading, it's missing a page. Whoever owned it first cut all the ads out and did me a huge favor, so I can read it without commercial interruption.
Nice.
But I just bought it to read it, though. You know what I mean? I didn't buy it. It doesn't have any inherent value. I paid like $3 for the whole mini series and stuff. I'm like, yeah,
that's actually how I've been getting my most entertainment recently from comics books, is just reading them. Like I have stopped buying like bigger books lately and just been more into reading right now. I think that's just a phase I'm in right now. Like I think that DJ Lynx is kind of in the same phase as me right now. So
yeah, I think a lot of us are, man. You haven't seen me pulling any keys or sharing any videos. No. I got my first appearance at Turok this year. I don't remember even what I bought at Heroes Con. Like I honestly don't remember. I tend to always get. Oh yeah,
you got a Hulk, didn't you?
Hulk number 3. Yeah.
You helped me with.
You helped him with New Teen Titans number 2.
Both of the Teen Titan books right there.
Yeah. So you know, I went around and bought with other people's money a lot this year. You know,
you did.
Like Steve was looking all sad. I'm like, dude, do you want me to go with you? Because I was having fun just haggling, but I wasn't having fun spending my money.
Right.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
I just enjoy the haggle, man. It's fun. And Pops helped with yours too.
He did.
Did I remember when we were going over there? I was ready to slap your hands, because we went over there and just kind of meandering. That's the trick. You got to start meandering. We're not here with a goal. Can't let them know that we need something.
Right.
And I started. Steve goes straight to the
buttering him up and everything, right? And you're like,
yeah. Steve just walks straight over there and pulls the slab out, and I'm like, huh. Like, hey, I like your original art back there. And then Pops just pulls up on Steve's other side. Yeah, is that Graham blah blah from 19 da da da, and just get into a conversation. This guy's like, yeah, but all this art, and what he's buttered up instantly talking about the original art for this Green Arrow stuff. I'm like, oh yeah. So about this book, he needs it, and his wife will kill him if he pays this price for
it. For sure.
I'm like, what's the best you can do? And what was it? The best he can do price is what you told. Because I asked you before, and I said, how much you want to pay?
I said I'd pay $200, and he sold it for $180.
Yeah, I said what? I said, what's the best you could do on this without even haggling? I mean, he goes ahead and comes down. He's like, well, I'll do it for 200. I'm like, that's not enough.
Yeah.
You do 180.
Yep. And he did. And I want to hear that story again about the art that you got your dad.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hear that story again.
No, dude, that was a personal challenge of mine. Anthony's Comic Art. Anthony's Comic Art is like a huge original art vendor in like huge. Jimmy the Greek from baseball.
Yeah.
It's his son.
From lots of betting things.
That's who Anthony is. It's his son. So he literally has mob ties. His family does. Literally. But he's an art dealer. He's very eccentric. He walks around in like decorated. They look like pajama pants almost. He's a fun guy to be around. He's got some cool energy. But he's like one of the bigger art dealers in the whole Southeast. He goes to all the big shows, NYCC. He's at all of them. And I haggled some pieces off of his kid who mans his booth and stuff. But I was over there looking at me and the Friday night crew, the Illuminati, were like over there waiting on somebody. We're waiting on a booth to open to check out a statue because we're trying to collectively as a team swag something for Remy Q, and the booth was late opening. So I'm just looking through this art and I find a Steve Rude drawing, like a full size just bust of the Shadow. I'm like, holy smokes, but it's personalized to somebody else. So I ask them how much they can do for it because it ain't cheap. No. And they tell me a number. I'm like, nah, I cut it in half. I'm like, dude, no way. And I'm like, I got to go for this. And they're like, I got to talk to my dad. I'm like, shit. So they go and get their dad, and they bring Anthony over, and he comes over. He doesn't need my money. He doesn't need to sell this piece for nothing. And I know that. So I'm like, this ain't going to work. And he's like, so what do you need? I'm like, yeah, I want to get this. And he doesn't care that I want to get it for my dad. I'm like, I want to get this piece. I'm going to give it to my dad. Problem is, that's not my I don't know. So the problem is, it's got a name written on it. He goes, it's in pencil. Just erase it. I'm like, well, if I erase it, I'm now part of the creative piece on this, and I should get a discount for working on the piece. He goes, no. And DJ's filming this interaction, and he looks up at DJ, and he just grabs one of his little cards that he has on his table, and he holds it up in front of the camera. I'm like, well, now you're doing promotional stuff. That's a discount right there, right? He goes, add y'all's social media together. Don't even touch mine, I promise. I'm like, God, this guy's unbreakable. So we go back and forth for a minute, and he finally gets sick of me, and he concedes to my price plus $5 because he had to be on top. And I said, appreciate it. So I take it, present it to Pops, and it's customized to my dad. That's to my dad's actual name. Like my dad goes by an abbreviated version of his middle name, and that's what it's customized to Russ, Steve Rude. And I gave it to him for Father's Day.
That's amazing.
He's a huge fan of Steve the Dude Rude. It was an awesome little hack there.
Your dad's face when you were talking about that, dude, like I could just tell he was so proud and so happy. It was awesome.
Yeah, I hope he liked it. I'm sure he did. He loves Steve Rude. He loves the Shadow. That's why I have my little Ruby G Shadow piece. Not because of that, but Pop wrote, I grew up with the Shadow thanks to him. The old serials where it's literally a shadow. They couldn't even bother to put somebody in a scarf. And then the Alec Baldwin movie, of course.
Steve Rude is a guy that disappeared for way too long as an artist.
Pops loves Nexus, dude.
I have an original art piece by Steve Rude of Nexus that I got off of his website.
Heck yeah.
I wonder what he's doing these days.
He just does. He's still doing Nexus, but he does these. He's in Arizona. He lives in Arizona. He does he does Nexus. Both him and Mike Barron both own Nexus together, and they each are allowed to do Nexus. And they did something a few years ago. They did something together. It was newspaper size. And they were doing like Nexus, and they were releasing like one page per month or per week or whatever. And then they gathered it all together. And now Mike Barron has done something with Nexus with another artist, and Steve Rude is doing something with Nexus himself. But he's just, I mean, God bless him. I mean, I wish I had his talent, but he's just so slow at what he does nowadays. It just, if you get a comic from him, every year, you're probably lucky. A comic's worth.
That's wild. Yeah, he was around for a long time.
Yeah.
And Steve Beach reminds me a lot of him.
Yeah.
Like the painting color, and it's like an old-timey style.
Yeah, exactly. The World's Finest series that he did, Steve Rude for DC, the 3-issue Prestige series, that was incredible.
Mm-hmm. Something about the guy's name Steve. They're good
painters. What a name. What a name.
Have you ever tried painting with watercolors?
I do have some art here. Hold on.
Oh my God, he's an actual painter. That was a curveball I wasn't expecting.
I'm not a painter, but I might have.
We'll be the judge of that.
Hold on. You guys are gonna laugh at this. Okay,
Probably.
Let me find the watercolor one. Hold on.
Are these yours or these were gifted to you?
No, these are mine.
Huh. So I was onto something.
Here it is. Don't laugh, okay? I know it's not good.
I'll try not to. Why'd you put the dad stickers on it?
Yeah, for real, right? I do have some other. I mean, that's my only watercolor one.
Now, when did you do these? Is this something that you did recently?
I usually try to put the date on these, but no. Okay. This one's actually like my favorite one I did. This is like probably 2019.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're not god awful. They look about like what I would be able to do a little bit better. I definitely wouldn't.
Much better than I could do. Oh, Joker. There you go.
Well, I think I could do that one.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I got anything better. Hold on.
Nah. So what you're saying is that you like to draw.
Yeah.
All right, that might be your best one by far.
You were right though, Steve.
Yeah.
I'm not very good. I do have some others, but
Just kidding.
Yeah,
Just kidding.
You've probably seen the best ones.
If I had half that talent, I would draw more. Oh, there you go. I hear he's part of the Trinity.
There's a whole short and reel I did of all of these.
You know, seeing the way that you draw people and the shapes of humans and stuff reminds me of one of tonight's topics. The brand new Frankenstein is out.
There you go.
These are 2018. Sorry,
like 45 minutes in, we haven't talked about anything that we were planning on.
We got to some of the topics, though. That worked.
Well, and did you guys see the Clayton Crane cover for Frankenstein? Maybe it's not Frankenstein. Hold on.
I think I did. Was it? Yeah, because they had that Frankenstein series that came out for was it IDW?
Oh, I'm sorry, it's Dracula.
Did you pick up Dracula last week? The Universal Monsters one?
The Tynan one?
James Tynan, and yeah, the black and white one.
No, that's been coming out for a while. They back to that series.
It was black and white, I guess. Maybe they just do it in black and white? And
I don't know, because Martin Simmons did the interiors for the first 6 issues because they did like Dracula, Frankenstein, Creature, Mummy.
It was black and white, so maybe that was just, but you know how like everyone is like, let's sell it again, but take all the colors out.
Yeah, take 50% of the effort out of it and charge $1 more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's a Jim Lee. There you go.
He traced that one.
No, I did not trace any of these.
I'm going to call you Steve Mattina.
Last one.
That's pretty cool. Looks like the Red Hood and the Outlaws #1.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you. I
Frankenstein.
don't know if the viewers will forgive you, but we'll forgive you. So moving into it, 2 topics of tonight. First off, Steve, you said you hadn't seen Frankenstein yet, but we're going to tell you a little bit about it. Did you watch It? Welcome to Derry? Are you keeping up with that?
Nope. I'm not into the horror stuff, unfortunately.
Ooh, it's definitely horrific. Frankenstein is a classic horror tale, and this is a very unique take on it. It's definitely an adaptation of Mary Shelley's book. It's been adapted a few times. Frankenstein's been done countless times, but actually adapting the book has been done a few times, because the Universal horror movies, Frankenstein, the most famous one, that's not an adaptation of the book. That's it's public domain, and it's just creative licensing. They made their own version of it. The one from the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing clearly isn't an adaptation. Frankenstein's not an adaptation, but TNT did an adaptation with Randy Quaid. Kenneth Branagh and Robert De Niro famously did an adaptation in the 90s, like an intense, pretty accurate adaptation. And then this is an adaptation. I can't think of another one other than those 3. Because even in 1992, when they marketed the TNT one, they said, you all know the story, but the truth is way more frightening, because it was like the first adaptation of the book proper that I knew of, at least. All the Hammer films and stuff, not an adaptation. So that being the case, it hasn't been done to death. And it's a really great story. And Guillermo del Toro has such a unique vision that he brings to anything he does, whether it be Hellboy, Hellboy 2, Pan's Labyrinth. I think most iconically showcases just how creative he is, how fantastical of a story he can tell. He pretty much makes modern Gothic fairy tales. That's what he does. Mm-hmm. Hellboy 2 is a great example of that, when they bring in the elves and Prince Nuado and all that lore and stuff into the Golden Army. He also did Pacific Rim, which, you know,
great movie. Great
movie. Dude, it rocks.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Crimson Peak was a good one that showcases this. Shape of Water is a recent one where he did his version of the Gill Man. Like, it was a little bit like maybe potential unused backstory to Abe Sapien or the Creature of the Black Lagoon, but told in his own way. It even has that fairy tale vibe and element to it. So with Frankenstein, he didn't really do that. He really did an adaptation of the book and kind of picked and chose certain things to focus on and certain things to completely omit from it. But the movie was good. I give it a solid 7 out of 10. I'm maybe a little bit snobby when it comes to this spoiler review, but I feel what he decided to leave out of it was almost a necessity for it to stick the landing. The story, whether it's Guillermo doing it or Kenneth Branagh, it doesn't matter who's doing it. The part that he left out is a necessity to the story and the dynamic between Victor and his monster and the way it plays out. That being said, it was gorgeous. It was one of the best acted movies of the year. It has tremendous emotional weight, and it hits really hard. But I'd still stick with it. It's green, but it just barely inched into green because I feel really, really, really upset with what they left out. We'll get into that. But Paul, what did you think? What was your experience watching this one?
Yeah, I think I would probably. I think you gave it a 7, right? I think I would probably give it an 8, 7.5 or an 8. It is an incredible story. It is. You can say that in a lot of ways, as the movie progresses, besides when they're attacking each other, trying to get to each other, or the monster's trying to get to Dr. Victor Frankenstein or whatever, and he goes through all these people, whatever, but the monster becomes more human and the human becomes more monster as the movie goes along, which is kind of is kind of a neat take. And I've never read the book, and I've never actually seen any of the other correct adaptations. I've seen the other one, so it's the first time I'm exposed to the actual. This is what Mary Shelley wrote, and I like this a lot better than anything else that I've seen, actually. I liked it a lot.
Is the bride in the movie?
Yes.
No. Let's
yes
talk,
no
at all. No at all. And when I'll tell you that's my biggest offense. So my immediate reaction to this, if you take this movie having not seen anything, because I talked to Lynx, this is first Frankenstein. He loved it. I see all the fanfare online. As a film, it's great. There's no getting around that. As a film, it is great. It's well acted. It's well scripted. It is ridiculously gorgeous. If this isn't nominated for Oscars for choreography, for cinematography, the universe is broken. Like, it's one of the most beautiful films of the year, easily. That being said, knowing what's there that Guillermo picked up and then put into a screenplay, and knowing what he omitted, it kind of like, because I'm watching it knowing what to expect and enjoy seeing it from a different person's set of eyes. Like, this is an existing story that you're adapting. I just want to see it through your eyes. And it hit this point. I went in, I saw a 2-hour, 32-minute runtime. Nice. And then we get to this.
It was longer than that. If you look at the entire credits, it's like 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was 2:32.
Anyway, I was going to say you gave it 5 just for the runtime, and
just for the runtime,
and then you tacked on 2 more.
Yeah, well, I was sitting there. I was ready to make my little review clip ahead of time. Like, I was enjoying myself. Then it dawned on me. I'm like, I look at the house. I see the state that the kids are in. They're passed out. I'm like, God, it's got to be late. And then I tapped my screen for the first time. Like, this has 30 minutes left. There's no way. There's this a part 1? There's no way. And then I see how they handle the third act, which is they decide not to. So in the book, Victor goes crazy. He goes mad. He almost dies, all this and that. And he abandons his experiment. He abandons it. The monster goes off, finds the blind man, which all of that was done great. But he goes and he rebuilds his life. And here's a trick. Elizabeth wasn't a weird flirt with your brother's fiance thing. And Elizabeth and him are in love. That's his girl that becomes his wife. They start to have a life together, then all this stuff. The monster tracks him down after the blind man dies because he doesn't want to live forever alone. He tracks Victor down and he convinces him to go make him a bride so he can leave him alone, because Victor is living in paranoia that this guy can pop up. Victor doesn't want to do it because he's grown as a person. He regrets all that stuff. But he goes and he does the experiment again. He goes and digs up bodies. He goes and sews them together. He makes this bride for Frankenstein, and he's about to fire it up, and he has like the crisis of consciousness, and he rips it to pieces and burns it. And that's what pisses the monster off. That famous phrase that's so famous that it was even used in Tron Ares, behold, for I am fearless and therefore powerful. That comes from that scene. Mm-hmm. He curses Victor, says, I'm moving to rage. If I can't be happy, I'm going to rage, and I will be there at your wedding night. Like, he curses him, and he is his curse. That's what moves him to rage. There is no rageful monster at all in this. You read The Monster and the Wolf. You know how he was talking about the rage that this monster, it's a famous rage that's embedded in Frankenstein that was not present at all in this movie. So that's why, like, when Victor spends the rest of his life at that point super paranoid, he gets married. Him and Elizabeth get married, and he's outside, like, paranoid on his wedding night. Frankenstein sneaks in and chokes her to death and breaks her neck, kills her. And that's what drives Victor to hunt him down to the literal end of the earth in the Arctic. There's no motive for that. And then in the Guillermo del Toro movie, there's this weird dynamic with Elizabeth and the monster. She sees him once, chained up. And then the next time she sees him is when Victor shoots her on accident.
On her wedding day.
And Victor shoots her on accident, and she runs off. He carries her off, and she's dying there, talking about how she loves this monster because we're like the same spirit. Like, what are you talking about? This doesn't make any sense. None whatsoever. That was like the biggest swing and miss of this. Didn't make any sense to me. Like, I thought the movie was literally crumbling like his castle did, just right in front of my eyes. I'm like, what is happening? So that's what threw me all the way off. Gotcha, Steve. But yeah, that just seemed weird to me. Having this your first Frankenstein experience, when he carried her to the random ice cave out of left field, and they had that conversation, did that just play normal for you, or was that?
Yeah, I mean, it. See, I guess the way that I was, the way that I looked at it was, Victor was, the rage that the monster showed was because Victor basically left him to die in the castle, and so that was the rage that he had for Victor, and then it evolved into, I need to find Victor so that he can build me a companion, which is what he said. I mean, Elizabeth was kind of, she met him, but to say that they met once, yeah, but 30 seconds after they met, the castle came down, and they never saw each other again. That that happens.
To the best of us.
Yeah, exactly. I could see, so that was still believable to me, but I could see, especially you knowing the rest of the story that I didn't know, where that could be, hey, you know what, I think you really missed something there, big swing and a miss.
Yeah, because they were trying to, because they did go for this emotional beat thing. And Lynx pointed out some good stuff to me, like the way that Victor was treating his creation was very similar to how his father treated him. I feel like there was a lot of specific themes that they did touch on in this, that if they would have hyper focused on those themes, it could have built out to a bigger hits, because a lot of the stuff that I think were meant to be the emotional hits and really were for a lot of viewers, I actually missed them because I think I was expecting the beats. Like this story has specific beats to hit. It has specific themes, and he chose to use different themes, and none of them he really dialed in on. But there's definitely other themes there. Like when Victor tells his tale to the captain, then the monster comes in, and the captain stands up in defense of him. He's like, "Stop there, beast, or prove his tale's right about you." And he's like, "Oh, he told you my story. Well, let me tell you mine."
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, let's hear it. If we're gonna do shifting gears, but things that they did super right is the time he spent with the blind man. That was done fantastically. That's like one of my favorite parts of the story in general, especially in the Randy Quaid one.
And Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, dude, and that
I'm on fire.
I was talking to Pops today, and we're talking about the movie Victor Frankenstein with James McAvoy. Mm-hmm. Like that came out a couple years ago. I completely skipped that one because I saw the trailer. I'm like, it's just a random movie called Frankenstein. And Pop said that one's told like from the perspective of Igor. I'm like, well, he's not even in the damn story. Like he's a made up character to begin with. I'm like, what is this, a spinoff of Young Frankenstein? Just a little wandering. Like, what's going on, Carlito? But yeah, it's a tale that'll live on forever. We have another Frankenstein adaptation coming up. Not even an adaptation, completely freewheel in this one, called The Bride, with Christian Bale playing the monster, and it looks like one of those art house style films. It looks really cool. I'll probably check that one out. Not in the theater because it's a lot of work. But
was this movie in a theater or was it streaming?
Netflix.
Oh, this is actually interesting. So this is a Netflix original. You know that Russo brothers movie with Chris Pratt and Millie Bobby Brown that came out on Netflix? That was like their
never watched it, but yeah, I know about it.
Yeah, that was like their first movie, like in their own studio.
Oh.
So Netflix has Netflix Studios. Now, I don't know if this one is or isn't one of those, but this is a Netflix original that got a theatrical release. They put it in theaters on like October 17th or something like that. So it had a very limited run.
And they have to do that to be eligible for an Oscar.
Oh. Okay.
It has the only qualification for a movie to be eligible for an Oscar it has to run at least once in LA County in a movie theater.
Okay.
Dude, well, as much as all right, so this like I said, a lot of this is just personal gripe just from being familiar with the story and thinking it could have been so much more. I mean, that's pretty presumptuous of me to think that I know better than Guillermo del Toro, but I did watch the movie and I did imagine how this was playing out and how much it's going to hurt watching this guy snap Elizabeth's neck. You know, or in the Robert De Niro one, I highly encourage everyone, if you think that this one was emotional, go watch that one. That one's just intense and grotesque. Helena Bonham Carter plays Elizabeth in that one, and he doesn't snap her neck. That would have been the nice way out. Like Victor and William bust in the bedroom right as he's by her in the bed, and she wakes up just long enough for him to look up at them and punch her in the chest and rip her heart out. And he says, I kept my promise, or some line. Then he shoves her dead body off the bed, and her head hits like the end table that has a lamp on it. So naturally it catches fire. So hole in her chest, head on fire, dead wife, and he dives out the window. I'm like, yeah, that was crazy. And that one takes liberties from there with what happens next, like with the whole bride situation. But yeah, it's that one's kind of intense. We'll say this one had a lot of great practical effects in very Guillermo del Toro classic fashion. Superman punch, Steve. It opens. Dude, I encourage you to watch the first 10 minutes because it's just Frankenstein approaching the ship. The way that the way that it goes is Victor is chasing the monster across the earth to hunt it down, and it starts with them in the Arctic, where he's chasing it to the Arctic. There's a ship there that's stuck in the ice that unfortunately comes across their ordeal. And the story is told by them telling it to the captain. Like, we're here out here in the Arctic because I'm hunting down this monster. Well, the monster attacks the people on the ship in the opening of this one in a wild, horrific way. He's superhuman strength and he's massive. That they did do right.
There's lots of Daryl Warren Johnson moments.
Dude, Daryl Warren Johnson moves for sure. It looks like the absolute Batman annual, dude. You remember when you need that guy in the face and his face just mushes?
It literally smushes in. Yeah.
He does that with his fist casually to a guy. He just
nice.
And his face just gone. But when he hits him, so much force, his face is gone, but his back breaks backwards and it's like it fixes, and then he just rolls back. It turns him into a tire, bro.
I'll have to check it out.
I always wanted to see Frankenstein to look like the Hulk in size, anger, and power. Yeah, and that was the only bad thing about the De Niro one. You know, Randy Quaid's a tall fellow. What's this guy? Something.
Jacob Elordi was the monster.
Jacob Elordi,
he was a tall guy.
Oh my gosh!
Euphoria. And,
Euphoria.
Flawless casting job. Mia Goth was great. Christoph Waltz was in this as some original made-up character with syphilis.
Yeah,
I'll check it out.
Okay.
Well, thanks for having me on. I'll try to be back again next week. I'll try to be on a little longer next time.
Say syphilis and Steve goes running.
No. We're gonna go do a family thing before we go to bed. So
do it. Have fun. Peace.
Make love for the night.
Will do. But yeah, dude, strong suits. God, I hate to be so negative about something that I honestly enjoyed, but I think again, I feel bummed. Because I mean, I'm glad that it's being so wildly enjoyed. I think it has like something like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. It earned every percentage of that. It's just a personal taste thing with me that I wanted to see. But the creature design, I got some pictures in here. I was worried that this is what was slowing down my computer earlier. Because I had this sitting there in the background. But the creature feature designs in here that only Guillermo can do, like in that horror gothic style. I love like the metal cap on it, for the electricity conduction. It was a little bit less extravagant than I expected with the bringing him to life thing. It was kind of just done. Wasn't an excess amount of lightning everywhere, and there was no beating on him. It's alive. None of that.
Nobody didn't scream, "It's alive!"
Never said it's alive.
Yeah.
He decided not to say that. That was cool. This was probably the most Guillermo del Toro thing about it, because I will say that I feel like out of all of his movies, this one it felt dethrottled, which isn't a bad thing. It just didn't lean so much into that fantasy stuff like a lot of his other stuff does. But again, because he's just doing an adaptation here, but these visions that Victor was having, this how he's kind of haunted by his dreams and what he wants to do since the passing of his mother. And this is where Mia Goth fell in love. The monster, when the design was crazy, the way that he was stitched together, the entire scene of Victor, like that was definitely the best represented I've seen that, when he's assembling the monster.
Yeah.
Did you wince?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dude, that slow cutting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, he was slow cutting. He's like, no, this bone's got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. I'm not even gonna lie. That was a little bit.
It was tough to watch when he had his leg blown off the bottom. You saw the big hole shin with the bones.
Yes, that was something that was completely new to this. In the beginning, when we find Victor and he's got the prosthetic leg, I'm like, what? Oh, I'm interested. The little changes and stuff, I was not bothered by. Dude, I don't know why I'm so bothered by this, the way that they handled Elizabeth at the end. But anyways, I'm gonna move on. I love this stuff. This stuff with the blind man, the hunting family, the pack of wolves, the whole fight between the monster and the wolves. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yo, that last one, the alpha wolf, when it got on him and he just grabs it by its scruff and he yanks and he literally skins it from the shoulders up just from yanking. Yeah. I'm like, oh, they really did a great job showcasing the strength of him. Mm-hmm. And Frankenstein can't die. But one thing they did in this that was different, that it caught me off guard, but I think it was a cool little new feature, is the speed in which he heals. Yeah. He almost has like a delayed Wolverine healing factor. And I hate to make that comparison. It makes it sound cheesy. It's not cheesy at all. He gets injured. He gets attacked. He gets shot. By the end of the movie, he's taking bullets left and right.
Like a dynamite in his hand.
Yes. Oh my gosh. 2 hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, I thought that was fantastic. At the end, it was really showing you the indestructible aspect of him. But there's some scenes where he takes the injury differently. And that kind of threw me off. But I love this one when he gets assumed to be the one that harmed the blind man. The trappers and hunters start firing at him and stab him, and he actually falls and he dies. He can't stay dead, but I love how when it's being told from his perspective and he wakes up, he says, and I was alive again. I don't know how long I had been dead. I'm like, that's a little bit pretty cool there. There's not a consistency to it, like this whole thing is up in the air. I agree with Mark. 7 out of 10. The movie had a weird way of presenting itself. Too much back and retelling. The actual third act just hurt it. I mean, there is storytelling, retelling too much. Yeah, I didn't mind the format. I'm telling you, dude, I'm just super shady, like personally shady about the Elizabeth thing. And I feel like it's to the point of being petty. Again, the cinematography in this is just exceptional. Like super good. Yeah, look at that. The way that he presents like the gothic horror aspect of it, it was just set designs top notch. This thing definitely deserves Oscar recognition. What is going on, Mr. Austin LeMay? Good to see you. Did you watch the new Frankenstein, Mr. Austin? But yeah, it's definitely worth your time. Definitely worth checking out. If you're not a persnickety jerk like I am, I'm sure you'll love it. There's a few of us persnickety jerks out there, and we all have our different things we're a little more persnickety about. Sledge is one of them. I can proudly say that he's persnickety about what he's persnickety about. He didn't enjoy it at all. I think he's the first and only person that I've seen firsthand that actively disliked it. I didn't dislike it. I think a 7 out of 10 is a damn fine score. Dude, I've gotten to the point this year I said I'm going to start being a lot more specific with my rating and critique of things. 7 out of 10 is a good score in my book. Yeah. If you get a 5, that's mid. It wasn't bad, it wasn't good, it just existed. That's what a 5 is.
Austin LeMay loved it.
There you go. Well, Frankenstein was awesome, beautiful and entertaining. Yeah, it's definitely one that I'll be watching again. The Frankenstein stories or something that I revisit. That I just hope that because that they're kind of taking this to the next level, giving it the limited run, pushing for Oscar stuff. I'm hoping that we get a physical media release, but I know we won't. Netflix is going to probably hold us hostage.
Netflix rarely does anything on.
But isn't this Guillermo's first feature with them? I know that he's done the TV show that he produced through Netflix. That was really cool. The anthology style show.
Yeah. Yep.
But is this his first feature with them?
As far as I know, yeah. But the stuff that has been on Netflix that has gone to physical media have all been owned by, like Disney did their Daredevil series. They did those, and they're more series as opposed to movies. I don't recall ever seeing any movie on Netflix.
It was artistic, not good. Perfect for the awards.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like taking away any, like just looking at it like from a critical filmmaking perspective. It's definitely a technical achievement, that's for sure. So one and done after watching it, I'll be watching it again because Dad, the Motor Brother. Yeah, it's definitely one that I'll watch again. Just from the even just from the technical side of it, just trying to see what other little details and intricate stuff. I was talking to Pops. I still think the Randy Quaid TNT one, in terms of like adapting the story and like just delivering on it, I think that's like easily still the best one. It's gonna be hard to top that one. It's kind of like who makes it. I don't think anybody, no matter how long this earth exists, nobody will be able to make a better Watchmen movie than Zack Snyder did, because he just brought the book to life. You know what I mean? Like he just simply like, let's just make the book. Well, what about this giant squid? Yeah, we all agree that's stupid, but I have an idea. And that was a brilliant idea what he did. He literally improved the ending of that book. So I don't think you could top that ever.
Yeah, and I mean, the other thing is too, I mean, there's been that, then there's been the miniseries, and then there's been the cartoon, but Frankenstein is different because there's been so many different. It's like, which version of A Christmas Carol is best? It's like it's been done so many times. It's like which one do you choose? And
yeah, it's always interesting because, like I said, the De Niro one strayed. They actually reanimated Elizabeth in the De Niro one. Spoiler alert. She wasn't happy about it. Well, I don't know. Let's move it over to Welcome to Derry. What say you?
I liked it again. Whoop, that's not Welcome to Derry.
Although look at that. Isn't that design top notch? Welcome to Derry. We got Welcome to Derry. You know what else we got? We got an actual intro to the show now.
Mm-hmm.
With episode 1, they did like a reversal of the title card from It Part 1. In It Part 1, we start the movie coming out of the sewer, and you have the title pop. With Welcome to Derry episode 1, we go into the sewer, and the title comes up out of the water. It was really cool. But now we have a full-on intro with it's like the whole nice and bright and cheery 1950s. It's almost like greeting cards, and you're shifting and moving, and they're slowly dissolving into madness and into horrors. Starts with Happy Town to looking in the sewer, then a kid seeing tentacles coming out of the sewer, and then dentists look like they're torturing something. And it just keeps going until it gets crazier.
Yeah, we pick up pretty much right where we ended episode 1 in the movie theater.
Yeah, we talk about retelling events.
We see a lot of the end of episode 1 again.
Yeah, we get it from a different perspective. Like when the kid gets thrown against the projection glass, we see it from the actual seats, even more brutal than what I imagined. And we kind of get a little bit of the fallout of that, like them trying to figure out what's going on. Like they got questions. Our poor little survivor here is being questioned about what happened. And then the other little girl was questioned, and they want to pin it all on her dad because they can't make heads or tails of it. I mean, no one would be able to. The only people that have access to here is a guy that works there, kind of thing. And
yeah, and there are people who are dead set on blaming him for it.
Yeah, they want answers. They want what happened.
So we see at one point we see the sheriff, or maybe he's chief, or maybe he's constable. I don't know, one of those things, or commander, or commissioner, or one of those things. But we see the head of the police department basically talking to one of the town council members, he's being pressured to find a way to charge the usher, or the guy who basically works the African American person at the theater, to charge him with the murder of all those kids.
Yeah, they're demanding somebody be held responsible. Meanwhile, it seems like all the kids that survived are getting attacked by it.
Meanwhile, back at the supermarket.
Yeah, the girl who we found out her dad died in the pickle factory, she has a horrifying experience in the market. And as that last slide showed, with the person peeking around, that was super eerie, bro. Yeah. Every time she turned a corner or walk, someone just peek and be looking.
Aisles would close off on her, and then she would people would peek around the corner to see her. And
her dad, who died by machine, we see how far he got chopped up, and it presents itself to her as her cut up dad in pickle jars, and they all fall and start assembling into like a squid creature of her dad. It was horrifying. And then the other little girl, who apparently her mom died in child labor because she gets haunted by a horrific version of her mom with a monster birth happening. So we're 2 for 2 with monster births.
Yep. Meanwhile, back on the Air Force Base, we have Harlan, who is there, the person who was arrested for attacking Harlan, the person who refused to salute him when he first arrived on the base. He's there. Harlan then comes to realize that he could not possibly have been the person who attacked him. He goes to the general. The general basically cops to the fact that you're right. He didn't. It was all a big ploy to test Harlan.
Yeah, apparently because of his service record and previous missions, he's been notated as somebody with a lot of honor, integrity, and honesty, and they're going to need somebody with those shining qualities to deal with what they're looking for with the secret at the base. A quick question from Austin says, any insight as to whether or not they're going to provide some more details into the significance of the toad? I don't know what toad he's talking about.
I don't either.
You know anything about a toad?
I do not know anything about a toad.
Austin, is there any possibility you could give us some insight into the details on what the toad is? The mom and laborers who were sick. The one guy must be psychic because they're using him to find the weapon. Glad you mentioned that. That's We talked about that briefly, but we get more details into Dick Halloran. Halloran, that's Scatman Crothers' character from The Shining. Coco, he's not just psychic; he has the shine. That's literally the same character from Stephen King's The Shining, just younger. So it's obvious that the military is on to something. I don't think they know to what degree.
And they have this dig going on at the same time. So
yeah, they've had this secret in the bunker, and we kind of get insight that they're out digging up, looking for something out there. And we know from the movies that it has to be the space entity that crashed there so long ago. I think they're going to regret digging for it. And we know from the history of Derry that they provided us in It Part 1 and Part 2 that, you know, they clearly can't find it or get it out of there because it's still present in the 80s. And I guess they discovered it from the events prior to this, because there's 2 other major occurrences before this one that was recorded in Derry. And I went back and watched It Part 1 and 2, Paul, and what stands out to me, especially with the commercials we have for this season, is the fire at the factory. Because in the commercials for this, you see a massive fire with Pennywise in front of it, and we know that he was there present as the clown
1908
at the factory from yes. So I think that we might get some flashbacks to that, maybe some insight with
that's what he wants to go back to if he does a 3rd season. Next season he wants to go back to 1935. The season after he wants to go all the way back to 1908.
Yeah, but I think they might even give us some actual footage of it in this too.
Yeah,
that would be awesome if they do.
There's a couple things that people just don't ever, you know, we've talked about this before on this channel, and that is, you know, don't keep things that don't want to be kept on an island by themselves, and don't dig up stuff that doesn't want to be dug up. Those are 2 things that 2 rules that people should really follow.
Oh, was it a frog or was it a turtle? The equal opposite of it. It's major it's major villain. You know, it's the Lord of Chaos, the Lord of Order. Was it a frog or was it a turtle?
You don't recall now.
Yeah, I'm just the littlest bit familiar with it as well, Austin. I haven't spent any time diving into it, but I'll try to lure it up for next week for sure.
He says the turtle.
No, don't believe me. I gotta. Okay, yeah, it is a space turtle. Yeah, because like when I had heard it before as well, like these ancient Lords of Order and Chaos kind of concept. I always think old god stuff, but the turtle stood out to me because 1, it's my favorite animal on the planet. I got 2 pet turtles, and 2, the old concept of like, you know, turtles all the way down. The Earth is just on the back of a giant cosmic turtle and all that kind of good stuff. But I don't know. I don't know if they plan on getting into that. Nothing in the movies did.
And you can probably almost every year find you on Instagram saving a turtle.
Yeah, my old IG account before it was hacked and shut down, there was a lot of rescues on there. Big fan of saving turtles, not just because there's a lot in the area. I can't leave them there. But this character stood out to me, Paul, after rewatching It Part 1 and 2.
Okay,
you make the connection with him? I'm sure you did. His last name
is Halloran, right? Isn't it?
Yeah. So you have Dick Halloran,
right?
And you have
well in the he's the in the miniseries, Tim Reed plays his grandson.
Yes, yeah, and it sounds a lot like Halloran. Yeah. It's very similar. It begins with the H, but his grandson is the main star from the movie Part 1 and 2.
Okay,
he's part of the losers.
Right.
And he has a story. He has a backstory. You know, the first time we see him, he's in the alleyway being haunted by the door with the hands trying to get out in the fire and the smoke and everything. And his story is that his parents, you know, I don't know if they were implying that they were like shot out or what, but they were not being responsible and the house caught fire or something like that. We don't know the specific details, I guess. Just they alluded to some of it. But that little kid's parents burned up in a house fire. That
was it a house fire?
Yeah.
A house fire? Because I was going to say, wouldn't that be something if his parents were in the 1908 fire?
Well, that'd be way his.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't.
Yeah. So, well, that little kid in the movie, his dad is his son.
Mm-hmm.
the little boy in this
Right.
one.
Okay.
So that little boy who we met in this one in the detention center, who's super smart,
yeah,
is the one that burns up in the fire.
okay,
Has to be, because it's the same last name. It has to be a male descendant, right?
right.
I have a red-eared slider. What do you? I have box turtles, my man. I'm a dry land turtle kind of guy. Give me tortoises and turtles all day. Not a fan of keeping an aquarium.
He's got box turtles. They're standing in a pile in the corner.
All the way down.
Soon as does all his boxes.
Yeah, I'll unbox them one day. Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah, we have Dude and Anguirus. Finn named both of them. So years ago, God, Finn was little. He wasn't talking much yet. But I had just shown him, we just did a marathon of all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. And at my job, there's a property cat. And every day when I get there, the cat comes following me down the hill to the front door of the kennel, and it comes with me inside. I turn the lights on. I grab a bowl, put a little bit of food out on the counter for it, and I go get to work. Well, one morning, cat came in and set a turtle on the ground. It was a baby box turtle, so it was, about as big as a silver dollar, and it had 2 holes straight through its shell where the cat bit it and picked it up because their shells are so soft when they're little, and you can see its organs and everything. So I kept it. I kept it safe because turtle shells will heal up, and still have it to this day. Its shell's completely healed up. They grow slowly, and he's about yay big now. Years later, and he's probably about yay big. And Finn named him Dude because the word dude was one of the words he learned that week from watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Nice.
And then the other one he named Anguirus. That one's very self-explanatory, especially if you know Finn. Big Godzilla fans around here. Mark will be a grandpa or a great grandpa by the time he finishes unboxing all his packages. One day, if I'm so lucky. But yeah, that's got me thinking, like, how sad would that be if this little boy that we're going to get to know, get to like, is ultimately the victim of that fire? And if it is, it'll be a time era that we're not going to get to see directly anyways, because I'm sure that this shows.
Then how does, well, actually, that's the miniseries. I'll say the miniseries. I'll say, how did Tim Reed become his grandson? But I guess he could become his grandson because if he has a daughter, he could still be his grandfather. So
yeah, because I think in 1989, the kid's like 10 years old, right? So the little kid in this in 1950s, 60, would be his dad. False. Mark will be buried with an unopened packages. Hey, and then that's the ultimate irony. Then I will become an unopened package.
There you go. Yes.
But yeah, I'm trying to piece it together. This show's becoming what I love most about anything with lore, Paul.
It'll definitely be a closed casket because Mark doesn't open anything.
Yeah, not a thing. By request of all of his friends.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I want to get the board out, the cork board, and the red yarn, and that's what makes these shows so fun.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them just.
Yeah, and it'll be even more fun if Machete gets to do 3 seasons.
Yeah, dude, I'm hoping. I don't know any viewership numbers yet, but this is quickly becoming a water cooler show.
Mm-hmm.
Quickly becoming a water cooler show. I go to work every Monday and I ask my employee that I work with on Mondays, I'm like, did you see this? Did you watch this? Did you see this? Did you watch this? And if it's a TV show, he'll typically watch it. Not just that, he's about a decade younger than me, plus some. I'm getting old, but he has a whole different perspective from his online experience than me, and I can easily gauge when like stuff is hit more than just my algorithm that way from talking to my staff. And the last week when I talked to him, it was being talked about in his little Reddit spheres or whatever he's on. So that's a positive thing because Reddit's kind of like the opposite of my social media experience.
Right. You put the word "the" in front of Reddit.
Is it not there?
No, I'm saying that's your difference in age.
The Reddit.
Put the word. Are people talking to you on the Reddit?
On the line, online, on the line.
Right.
I encourage anybody to go watch
I'm big on the YouTubes.
Yeah, I'm big on the YouTubes. But yeah, it's a fantastic show. Episode 2, 9 out of 10. It was horrific. It was intense. It had a ton of backstory, brought a whole bunch of characters into it. And I got to tell you, I appreciated it 1,000 times more after rewatching it chapter 1 and chapter 2. I had seen both of them one time apiece when they first came out. They were both pre-COVID movies. I think part 2 came out right before the pandemic, and they're fantastic. Mm-hmm. And they fit right into the tone, the style, the cinematography for this. It fits perfectly in there. I'm very excited. I'll be watching episode 3 as soon as the stream's off, and we'll be
and hopefully he'll do the Brave and the Bold soon. Or maybe not. Yeah.
Did you see the set photos for the Team America Robin Police?
Yeah, the dynamic duo.
Yeah, did you?
I did. Man. I saw his little car smash into the
building.
And they're doing basically, do you want to be a movie star? You want to be a voice actor? Just, go to this website and, next weekend.
Dude, I don't know how to feel about none of this anymore. We killed Alan Moore, Frank Miller, Art Spiegelman, Neil Gaiman, and Todd McFarlane here at Comicsgate. Watch Uma Musumu, and the creator will tell you where to find the bodies. All right. Art Spiegelman. Isn't that the guy who did Mouse?
Maybe, yeah. The MAUS one? That one?
Yeah, Mouse. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. Congratulations, Thomas and Alfred. Good job. I'm too busy to have time to look for bodies. Anyways, yeah, I don't know how to feel about any of this. Like, I love my DC comics. I love my characters, and I love being excited for them. That's part of the fun about participating in a fandom, is the fan part of that. And it goes back to what Steve said earlier, kind of the like, you hear what James Gunn said. My immediate reaction was, oh God, what? Like, I enjoy James Gunn as a creator. That doesn't mean I enjoy James Gunn on everything. And I really think that the level of interaction he's having online, for me, it's detrimental to my excitement for this stuff. Recently he pointed out the dark side will not be focused on in the DCU. I couldn't care one way or the other, but saying that's pretty much a huge spoiler. We don't know what to expect, and not knowing what to expect is part of the fun. You get to be surprised. A lot of people were talking and speculating about potential New God technology with Peacemaker's helmets and this and that kind of stuff. And it kind of spoils it. Like it's not that kind of thing, but I see projects like this and I think to myself, they're spending precious funds on projects like this. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. It's definitely different. It's definitely swinging for something else. It reminds me of the Thunderbirds, Team America. But it just seems like there's no way this is meant to be taken seriously. Look at the recorder there on the desk. Like, I just don't understand what they're trying to do with the DCU.
Yeah, I mean, I guess to your point, I think they're trying to do lots of different things with the DCU. It seems like between the characters that they go at, how they present them and everything. Supposedly the Lanterns is not going to be after Supergirl now. It's still supposed to be the beginning of next year. So we'll see if that comes true. But it's also an odd way to cast. Go to this website and maybe you can be Nightwing or whatever.
Yeah, man. We've talked about it before. I want the DCU to succeed, and I don't want it to succeed because it's some kind of like one of those random internet popular things. I don't want it to be hot topic. I like it because I think I'm supposed to like it because other people like it, kind of thing. I want it to be good. I want it to resonate. I want these stories to leave you feeling some type of way, and for you to still feel that way when you think back on them years later. And this just feels goofy to me. DC, I take it, like when I read the comics, I take these characters seriously and these stories seriously, and I read them as they're presented. And right now, And this can change at the drop of a dime, but right now, having all we have to go off of is like, the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker season 1 and 2, Superman, Creature Commandos. Right now, I don't feel like the DCU is being presented in a way that reflects the comics. I don't mean like they're misrepresenting individual characters. I mean as a whole. As a whole, it feels a little off.
So you won't be watching Batman.
God, see, great point. Great point.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what is that even?
It is a series based off of, a continuation of the Christmas special that they did. It is basically
the webtoon thing.
Kind of, I think so. Yeah.
No, I'm not even gonna bother looking it up. It looks ridiculous. Yeah, goofy is a good word for it. And I don't know who they're trying to appeal to with this. The DC has a massive fandom, and they have a dedicated fandom. We see little things that happen where it really just they kind of come out of the woodworks to support it. Like, just look at when Nelson did those Superman books. When no one else is doing Superman exclusives, Nelson's like, I'm going to do a Superman exclusive. And it became like the biggest book for like exclusives, which is a big deal. And it wasn't some crazy reseller flipper market on that book. People bought those and held them. If you go online and look, you can find one or two maybe online for sale, but people bought them for their collections. You and I both have them. Like,
yep.
Those are that's staying here forever with me. Unless like I hit hard times and have to sell stuff. I bought that for me because that's a very limited, very thoughtful piece of Superman lore and history. And I want that in my collection. And a lot of people showed up and showed out.
Yeah. I mean, there is something to be said for the Bat fan. There is something to be said overall that people who read comics are not getting any younger. And the quicker the earlier you can get them interested in comic books, they're going to get older, and then their reading habits will change, and hopefully, progress, and they'll mature and things like that. And so they'll keep, the big comic book wheel turning. So, so there's something to be said for that. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. I never watched the Christmas special.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me. I'll definitely be watching this Robin movie just out of sheer curiosity at best. DC is dead. Rest in peace, DC.
Oh, no.
Shout out to Pembroke W. Corgi. I know what a corgi is. I run a kennel. I'm very familiar with corgis. Sweet little guys. Sweet little long dogs. But DC is dead. That's kind of a crazy statement. And you might want it to die, but it's kind of the opposite of dead right now. It's absolutely dominating comic sales, and it's not just leading in a dead market. Like, it's actually doing like legitimate good numbers, and you don't have to believe me. You can go verify that for yourself. But yeah, I just want it to be good. And I'll be honest with you, there's the projects that I'm most excited about, and I think that we'll get a better accurate representation of what the state of the DCU will look like come this time next year. And we've said it before. I'll say it again until we get there. We have what's going to be good about the DCU, if they stick to it, is they allow the creators they hire to do things, room to do things. And that Robin project is an example of them doing that. Like, whether it's a part of the DCU or labeled an Elseworld, it's still creators doing something that they clearly wanted to do, and somehow they got a green light for it. So they're doing it. But we have the Clayface project coming up, wildly different than what we should expect from James Gunn. We have the Lantern show coming up, wildly different than what we should have seen with this other stuff, despite Guy Gardner being confirmed to be in there and then bragging about the number of F words he's going to say. Like, that's some kind of badge of honor, which is kind of the polar opposite of it. But yeah, I mean, I'm ready to see the variety. I want it to reflect the DC Comics universe, and that is an actual variety. Like you pointed out, there are books that aim for younger readers. You have Tom King books that aim for people who want to sit down and spend half an hour in a book. Mm-hmm. You got Mark Waid books out there, despite what you may think about him, they're just classic feeling superhero centric stuff. Like, just so I want that with the movies. And despite what you may think about the DCEU, it had that vibe to it. It had that feel. Like, what Snyder touched felt like Snyder. Aquaman did not feel like Snyder. It felt like James Wan. It felt completely unique. And Atlantis was different. The palette was different. Everything about it was different. Had a little more touch of humor to it. But you definitely had that variety in the stuff. They did stuff in Swing and Miss, or like the Harley Quinn Birds of Prey movie, which I enjoyed. I know it's not for everybody, but I thought it was a fun R-rated romp. Now, people were definitely saying it for years, Joe. Definitely saying it for years, like back half of the New 52 to recently, really. He said, "Go and get." No. I heard a rumor that a brony wrote something on the wall. It said, "F you, Alan Moore. You think you're William Shakespeare, but you're not." Which wall? Dude, I would argue Alan Moore is probably, he's not Shakespeare, but he's definitely one of the most iconic comic writers of any of our living lifetimes. There's some things that we can argue about. We can argue about like if a movie is good or not, and there's some things you have to recognize. He's a talented and amazing writer.
And the one thing about Alan Moore is he could really care what other people think.
He's mad. He's mad that he's not mad about what you think. He's mad that you're making his stuff. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, those the first 2 volumes were fantastic. V for Vendetta, fantastic. Watchmen, fantastic. His run on Swamp Thing is still like, whoever has the second best run on Swamp Thing is still like, not even a country mile to Alan Moore's.
What do you
get to the Man of Tomorrow?
What do you get for the Man of Steel who has everything, or whatever it was, that annual, that the Superman annual? What do you get for the Man who has everything? I think it was called.
Yeah. I would encourage you to go read some of his stuff. If you're not a fan, I know you're saying that's what someone wrote on something, but yeah, he's fantastic. His Swamp Thing work is probably some of my favorite. I like when we get into existential stuff, like what does it mean to exist, and what a crazy addition that is. It's not Alec Holland, it's his name. Yeah, that was wild. Yeah, there's some good stuff. But we're over the hour and a half mark. You want to touch on some books and get out of here?
Sure.
Because it's a small week. Small week. All right, we talked about it at the beginning of the stream. I'm gonna bronies don't like art. I can't argue with that. That reminded me of one of the funniest jokes in Peacemaker season 1, how every episode they made sure to make a targeted attack at one specific character, and they saved Green Arrow for the final episode. And when they mentioned Green Arrow to Christopher Smith, he said, "That guy, I saw that guy at a convention playing the back ass of a cosplay for Sparkle Twilight with the butthole punched out." Like, Jesus. Jeez. What's going on, Billy? But yeah, we're starting where I mentioned earlier, because I'm a huge JSA guy. And it's like I tell Paul, I don't ever want to see this book end, and I want to make sure people are reading it. So if you were one of the people that absolutely loved Absolute Batman Annual 2025, if you were online screaming its praises before you even read it, you need to know that there's another book for you. It's called JSA Year 1, Chapter 1. So this is technically issue 13, but it's the start of a whole new story arc. And when I mean a whole new story arc, I mean you could cut the film and it's a whole new film. It might as well be called issue 1. But it goes back to the earliest days of the JSA, and they're fighting Nazis. Mm-hmm. Just like comics do every month. They're fighting Nazis. But we found out this past week that if you fight Nazis, you have an amazing book that deserves to go buy 3 copies, said numerous people. So go buy 3 copies, support this book. They fight Nazis.
You have a get out of cancellation card.
Get out of cancellation card. So the Golden Age characters of DC Comics are some of the most enjoyable and fun ones. You know, a lot of people talk about they're overpowered, this and that. They're not. They're not. They have to use their wits. They have to use their unique strengths and abilities, and they have to come together like butt cheeks as a team. In this case, fight Nazis. So you'll love it. But it's legitimately good.
Who do you think is narrating the last 5 pages?
Let me go back and take a peek. I wanted to think that because of the nature of All-Star number 3 that it's Johnny Thunderbolt, but he pops up. Could it be their most famous secretary?
Who's that?
Wonder Woman, bro.
You think?
No, I said, could it
be?
There we go, Garfong. Go get it. And again, a lot of people don't know this, but DC Comics fights Nazis every month. You can find a book every month.
I thought maybe it was FDR. If you go back to
Oh,
All-Star Squadron #1.
oh, when it was, yeah, maybe.
But the thing why is the
That's
thing is that
socialist.
they seem so human, almost makes it seem like the person who's commenting it is somehow a meta person.
It might be. What if it's the OG Red Tornado, Ma Hunkle? But
You go with the pot in her head.
yes, she was there, bro. They
Yeah.
can't leave her out. She was there. I love that got like a laugh out of you. You know, how cool is it? So basically, this book, we're going back to the very beginning. So kind of introducing us to all the characters outside of their suits and bouncing around between them, then putting them into their suits and bouncing around between them, kind of showcasing them for a second and talking about how a society is forming. And my favorite one was when Al Pratt, the OG Atom Smasher, walks into to bust up a little gambling ring, and they jump when the door gets kicked in, and then their knee-jerk reaction is to laugh at the little guy, and he just hand and fist which one's first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, it was awesome. DC and Watchmen has become a laughing stock. You have a strange circle that you run in if you think that's the case. I'm just being honest with you. I'm just being honest with you. I don't doubt that might be your experience, but that's a crazy take. There's definitely things that are worth laughing about. It's not necessarily the books more than it is at times the creators or people's reactions to the book, but
yeah,
that's just coming from somebody who I have my own opinions, my own beliefs, and they rarely align.
Watchmen, I believe, was one of the top 100 New York Times
Pieces of literature,
not just comics, but of the last century. So
yeah, so it's transcended its medium. Doomsday Clock ruined Watchmen? No, it didn't. Did you read Doomsday Clock? Most people didn't. Doomsday Clock didn't ruin anything. The only way to ruin Watchmen is to go back in time and mess with Watchmen. What did Superman 4, A Quest for Peace, ruin Superman the movie? Did James Gunn's upcoming Batman the Brave and the Bold ruin Batman 89? That's not how things work. That's not how reality works. Yeah, they have, dude, the absolutes are just awesome. To that point, Absolute Green Lantern, brand new story arc number 8 came out this week, as well as Absolute Superman, issue 13, The Battle of Kansas. Paul and I have already recorded the video. The full deep dive on the Absolute Universe continues. That premieres every Monday at 10 a.m. on his channel, which is always linked in the description. We're doing this thing now, though.
Yeah, I would say I will appear on your channel as well, right? Or it'll come up in your feed, right? I think, right?
I have no clue how it works. They don't show up on my end, but I wonder if it's just a notification that goes out. Or I don't know how collab things work, but we collabed on it, so it should go out. But if you watch it, make sure you subscribe, because if you subscribe, it'll be hitting his channel. So do that. Jeff Johns and James Gunn ruined DC. You got to put some context to this. Right. Tell me why you think that or how, because Jeff Johns said, like, bro, saying Jeff Johns ruined anything to me is the craziest thing I've ever heard. Like, I'm a Jeff Johns stan, my guy. Hey, let's talk about Rook Exodus.
Yes.
Who wrote this?
Oh, I think it was Jeff Johns, I believe.
Hey, if you want to know more about Jeff Johns, just check out my channel. Paul and I have talked to him here on the channel, along with Jason Fabach and Brian Hitch. Yeah, he's the opposite of what it looks like to ruin comics. He made DC Comics so good that when he stopped working for him, you could feel the difference. Mm-hmm. You can feel the difference when it came down. But he's over making Ghost Machine stuff now. And
pretty much everybody that he worked with at DC left with him.
Yeah, he took all the talent. DC had to go find new talent. But this issue number 8, it's the second installment in the second volume here. And here on Exodus, this planet that's dying, they're trying to get the world engine back up because the planet is kind of de-terraforming. It's going to be uninhabitable for these people that have no way off this planet. We had a huge revelation in this. This isn't the only planet that Better Worlds has terraformed. Because, in the issue 1 of this, back when it first kicked off, it felt like the end is nigh. Like there's really no getting around. It's a ticking time bomb kind of story. But they're off trying to find Direwolf's father, who is one of the chief engineers in designing all the technology for the world engine here. And he's unfortunately been swept up by the drift, by the neural handshake that happens between them and the animals when they wear this mask. And he's pretty much rabid now. And tracking him down has led them to this bunker that it's not empty. It's full of danger. And there's this character called Arachnid in there that seems to be, I'm assuming, probably going through the same thing her dad is. It's kind of just become one with the spiders, and we get introduced to a couple characters. They added in I don't know her name, whatever the fancy name for a goat is. And then at the tail end, this guy who's like a deer pops up. He's like a samurai who's trying to put down her rabid father because he killed the deer dude's wife. Like major cliffhanger there. Action packed, art 10 out of 10, story's dynamic, as is everything with Jeff Johns. But yeah, Doomsday Clock ruined Watchmen be having an impact on the Watchmen timeline. That's the thing. There is no Watchmen timeline. Watchmen timeline is the start to the end of Watchmen. That's the Watchmen timeline. Unless you want to go out there and just dive into the before Watchmen books that nobody really did either, because everyone's just so happy with Watchmen, but DC made them to kind of keep the license. You can go check out the Minutemen stuff from that, but that was all built into Watchmen. They're just telling the stories that are built into it already. And then Doomsday Clock doesn't mess with the Watchmen timeline because it happens in the DC universe. Mime and Marionette come over there. So it just doesn't mess with it. I can do this all day. Rook is also the best Ghost Machine next to Geiger. I encourage you, like I said with the other thing, I encourage you to read it. I encourage you to read it. I know it was plagued with delays and it really threw people off, and it was a crazy time for DC with Dan DiDio getting out, the continuity stuff, 5G coming, is 5G going, whatever. But hindsight being 2020, going back, reading all at once and seeing where it fits in now, I encourage you to read that. Then go check out the new history of the DC universe, just issue 4, the final issue. Fits in flawlessly. Yeah, I did too. I like Doomsday Clock. I never felt like Watchmen had to be held on this impossible pedestal that you can't touch it. I'm not Alan Moore. And if someone's going to touch it, it might as well be the comic book dream team of Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. I don't like how Doomsday Clock affected the Watchmen timeline by having Dr. Manhattan give the world its own Superman. The Watchmen universe doesn't. Talking about the little kid that it has its own Dr. Manhattan. Yeah, again, I encourage you to go read it or go back and reread it, because the Watchmen universe doesn't have a Superman. Jeff Johns only put one MAGA voter Nazi in it. What? Jeff Johns is a good writer. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, dude. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people do hold like the Watchmen in like that regard, like we shouldn't mess with it, which is super fair. Like that's a fair opinion, but they're going to mess with it. They're going to mess with it. And I think they did a good job. They just wanted to tap the DC universe with it. It's been DC forever, and it's never tapped the DC universe. 40 years later, they decided to do it. I mean, that's not bad. They waited realistically like 30 something years. That's a lot longer than I'd expected them to. But yeah, I think they did a good job with it. Everyone's like, I want to see Dr. Manhattan fight Superman. I remember how many people were saying that the whole time. Like, dude, what are y'all thinking? That the whole time, like, that's not a fight. They can't fight. And you have that scene on Mars where he just dusts everybody with a thought. I'm like, that's how it goes with Superman too. But dude, the way that they establish some universal constants in the multiverse, making Superman be the center of the world, like that embodiment, that's bigger than him, and that goes into the greater DCU and everything. And the way that they retcon to a degree the creation of the New 52 universe with Dr. Manhattan tapping and touching with things and moving Alan's lantern, and that's what caused like the JSA to never exist, and the whole Button storyline, and God, what he did to Pandora. Like, there's so much cool stuff that happened that got us to Doomsday Clock. It wasn't like they just did Doomsday Clock, like. And unfortunately, the continuity was in that whole, we're sorry for the New 52 being so tight of continuity. We're going to loosen it up.
We shouldn't have made Dr. Manhattan's mother's name Martha.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have done that. Thomas, it tied into Justice League, New 52, Watchmen, the old DC universe, and it tied into a lot. Exactly. But because of the time error, you have to be like me. You have to be Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Get the cork board, get the red string, and you find the timeline, because not everything was. It's all in the same universe, but it all just, we'll make it here, we'll make it there, we'll kind of do our own things. But yeah, you don't have to retcon it. That's the beauty about it.
It's not all linear, because Dr. Manhattan lives throughout time. So
yeah, exactly. So if you go and check out like the actual DC timeline right now, and this hasn't changed, but they really go back and they just kind of sum it up and specify it. Like if you read a lot of books nonstop for years, you can do this already. But they just put out the 4-issue new history of the DC universe, where when it comes to Doomsday Clock, the only thing that actually matters this far after it is that at the end of Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan left Earth. At some point in time, being that he exists in all time and all space simultaneously at his will, he was watching the DC universe curiously, and he fiddled with it. Side effect of him fiddling with it is New 52, and he also turned that off. That's all that matters. And when he turned it off, the act of him turning it off and Wally being still existing and the Speed Force through all this and coming back, some events recorrected and some events went back to how they were and some events remained differently. Some of the like the JSA came back when he unfiddled, when he fiddled off, when he went and when he gone out get JSA came back. You know, you had Wally having all the memories of everything that came before. He lost his wife, he lost his kids, all of these things which caused the mental breakdown. Well, not that's kind of strong words, but which caused the Heroes in Crisis event. People are like, Wally killed someone. No, he didn't. He didn't directly kill anyone. The dude exploded. People died. It was sad. But yeah, nothing, there's nothing that you can retcon from that and change anything now. There's nothing to retcon. Watchmen needs to be separate from the DC universe. It is. So is Watchmen still its own universe? Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. 100%. They treated Dr. Manhattan as an entity that he is that is not bound to a universe. You know, like how his power sets, like Watchmen and DC didn't reveal that it's happening on the same world. No, that's not a thing. They completely separate. But you know, there's a bridge between the two because of stuff like Dr. Manhattan, Lex Luthor, stuff like that. Stuff like that. But yeah, they're their own completely separate things. We need to go back and revisit that little kid at the end of Doomsday Clock that Manhattan left that little touch in there with. Boom, Garfong has joined the channel membership. Big shout out and thank you to Garfong. That puts us at like I think we're tapping on 80 members right now. So big shout out to him. Thank you so much. Dr. Manhattan's kid still canon. That's what I'm saying. We need to go back and check out that. Because they kind of left that was what they left kind of hanging. But that'd be fun just to we pretty much did it. Just to do a whole like, I think a lot of people don't do the whole continuity connection stuff. DCKO continue with its second installment with Night Fight. Batman killed in the events of issue 1 of DCKO. Twist to it, Batman had a failsafe. Go figure. And his failsafe was apocalyptic technology inside of his suit. He had a small little Batman-sized mother box in there. So if he stops moving, if he stops ticking, it gets him out of there. It removes him as a player, as a possible problem that could slow down the other combatants in there. Don't want his friends stopping to hang out with him behind. And it was supposed to take him home. It didn't exactly do that, though, did it, Paul?
It did not. It took him to a future.
My immediately reaction, I thought we were going to future state. I thought it was his suit that he was wearing when he landed there. It reminded me of the Dan Mora drawn Dark Detective that they did during Future State, which is pretty solid. Enjoyed that one. But it's not that future. It's a future where Nightwing has taken on the Cowl. He's got a gang of Robins that work for him. He's pretty much like anybody that wants to participate in this crime fighting thing. I'll train you. You could be a Robin. There's strength in numbers. And now that Bruce is out here, we have to go fight him and stop him immediately. And we don't know why. And we go through this crazy fight of Batman and Nightwing fighting each other. The big twist at the end is Nightwing kind of gets him down for a second. He's like, stay down. He's like, dude, let's get past this. Where are the other Robins? He's like, what? The other Robin? You killed him. Nightwing pretty much thinks Bruce is like escaped out of the nut house.
Right.
And he's put on his cape and cowl. It's a future where he would never put it down to the point of going crazy kind of thing and never pass the torch. So I'm curious to see where it goes. I wasn't blown away by it because it feels like they could have just left him dead. You know what I mean? Just left Batman dead and brought him back at the end of this. But Batman sells books, so they're going to make Batman books. And they're going to make 4 of these to come out in between the pages. But it wasn't a bad story. I like the conversation dynamic between Nightwing and Batman and some stuff that won't necessarily happen or play out in the main universe. So it's kind of fun to play the what if game with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know what, when you don't want Batman in the main thing like Final Crisis, just throw him through time. And have him come back, and he can do his own thing over there while he's not involved in our thing here anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm curious to see where it goes. Now I'm curious, like, what about all the other ones that died? You know, like Blue Beetle got squished and Damage got destroyed. I haven't seen Damage in forever, and he pops up for one panel just like, hey, there it goes. Came and went. But it wasn't bad. It was all right. It was fun. Like that. This is a DC mega event. Haven't done one in a while. They're only meant to be fun. Keep that in mind. Like they're meant to be two things. They're meant to be fun and whatever the issues was. 7 issues.
It's either 5 or 7. I don't recall.
Well, let's pretend it's 7. So the only thing that matters is if you have fun and whatever they say at the end of issue 7. That's what matters.
Right.
Everything else in between is just for the fun aspect. You know how it ends and what does it mean for the canon moving forward. I'm excited for it. The absolute characters have popped up in here. A little dark side tease that he's
getting lots of other properties are coming up.
Yeah.
The apparently the Joker is going to fight the doll. I can't wait. Amelia, is that her name?
Annabelle.
Annabelle, right? Joker's going to fight Annabelle.
That means doesn't he fight Wonder Woman next?
I don't know.
We do know we have those covers, right? We have with those insane Jorge Corona covers. Yeah, Superman fighting Captain Atom, Wonder Woman fighting the Joker. But if the Joker is already built up to fight Annabelle, that means he's going to beat Wonder Woman.
Right. Yeah. Well, I doubt they're going to make any of those other characters win. It would be funny if Highlander, saved the DC universe.
drawn like Henry Cavill.
Yeah, exactly.
He's playing Highlander coming up. But I mean, like if that's going to be tough with this is spoilers, right? Because they the FOC and the books coming out, and if they're really billing these things as this versus that, and it's like a fight to the death kind of thing. Like if we know Wonder Woman's fighting the Joker next, and we see Joker in a later issue. I mean, of course, there's going to be twists and curves and this and that, but
I mean, they kept it quiet for about a month because in the solicitations it said Superman versus Redacted. It said Wonder Woman versus Redacted. So you knew who the 4 main people were, but you didn't know who they were fighting.
Yeah. I'm excited for the Superman versus Captain Atom. We know this is a Superman forward story. I was really hoping Captain Atom would get some longevity in this, though. I think it'd be a great opportunity to get the characters that, don't have all the forward focus. Like let Lobo run the gauntlet. He's got the movie appearance coming up. He has his own standalone series coming up. It's going to be wildly popular. They got Scotty Young doing the series. So wouldn't it be cool just to let this kind of thing is made for the main man, just an all-out slobber knocker. This is a character that can go fisticuffs with Superman all day, and he's got the edge to not hold back to begin with. I think it'd be great. Can you guys give spoilers for Batman 2025 issue 1 and 2? Sure, absolutely. I got that next on the review list for issue 3. I'll give you spoilers for 1, 2, and 3 if you want it. The Matt Fraction, Jorge Jimenez Batman, the one of 2 ongoing Batman main titles, because next week, part 4 or 5 of Hattush, part 5 of Hush 2 comes out. So they started the new Batman series before the previous one ended because of the delays with Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb's second volume of Hush. But in the current Matt Fraction one, we started a new issue number 1. So right now it's kind of just Matt Fraction picking up the pieces of the ongoing Batman and starting to set his own stage. There's we're doing the kind of focusing on the Vandal Savage is the commissioner of Gotham. That's something that the previous writer did.
Or the chief or the captain?
Commandant.
Okay.
Commandant.
Constable.
Yeah. Tune in tomorrow at 10 a.m. to find out about our inside jokes. Samsonite. I was way off.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're kind of focusing on Batman. They just kind of reintroduce readers to Batman. He's back in the blue and gray, which looks fantastic. Jorge Jimenez is a phenomenal artist. They do this cool little stuff showing you his gadgets and everything. He responds in issue 1 to Croc breaking out of the I don't want to say jail. He wasn't in jail. He was in like an Arkham Asylum site type place, but it wasn't. I don't think it was Arkham. He was in that tower. But he responds to that breakout, and we kind of just use that event just to introduce the readers to Batman, to Gotham, get to see the new Batmobile design. That's always part of the fun stuff when you get a new artist or writer team on Batman and seeing how they'll portray the Batmobile, the gadgets and stuff. And that's all that really was. It was kind of a turn too, with Absolute Batman being so dynamic, action forward, and all that. They kind of took a different take with this to have like he wasn't slobber knocker fighting Killer Croc. He found a different angle, which isn't new for Batman. Keep in mind he carries lollipops in his utility belt. He does know when to swing fists and when to hold them. In issue number,
and Fraction is doing, although he does have like the thread of like Commissioner Vandal Savage and everything. He's doing much more like like 1 or 2 issue stories as well. Like this issue 3 is a complete issue. It's a complete story.
So definitely a continuing story arc though.
Yeah, but to your point too about all the like the different bat things, like the stealth suit in this one is incredible.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah.
And then in issue number 2, we kind of pick up where issue number 1 ends on a cliffhanger. Tim Drake Robin goes out, just patrolling, and he goes and stops a petty crime. And a police officer draws down on him and says, freeze, because right now in the city, Vandal Savage is the commissioner, commandant, chief, whatever. And Vandal Savage has put out a no vigilante order in Gotham. So you have some Gotham police officers that are on board with it, some that aren't. Jim Gordon, because Jim is retired out and all that. Well, Fraction's getting him back. He's working him back to the commissioner's seat. So he's got him back on the force. He came back as a beat cop. He's working with Harvey Bullock, who's a private eye, and they're doing their own thing. And like
the little stuffed bat is the bat signal in the window.
Yeah. But you can see them trying to get Fraction's trying to get it to where he wants it to start his story. Really, he's inherited some things and he's addressing them right in the beginning. So it's the story arc where they're going to ultimately get Vandal out of the commissioner's seat, but he's brought in some extra private security and mercenaries to help take care of the vigilante problems in Gotham. So it ends with Robin getting drawn down on. So issue 2 starts with that, a skirmish between Robin and the authorities trying to take out the vigilantes. Ends with Robin taking a bullet, Batman stopping them. So issue 3.
We should make it the Robin in this one is Tim Drake.
Mm-hmm.
The Robin and Batman and Robin is
Damian.
So just in case for those people who aren't reading Batman. So
yeah, there's a lot of Batman titles. They're spread out. And then in issue number 3, it kind of is like Tim is in the hospital. Batman's watching TV at, who is it? Was it Hugo Strange and some woman who's funded by a grant from Wayne Industries, looking at this brain technology stuff, and they're having a debate on TV about the efficacy of it and its usefulness. And Batman goes in and goes investigating something and finds the Riddler in there about to steal the technology. And he kind of has a fight with Riddler, and it seems like the Riddler was forced to be there, didn't want to be there, because again, in the previous run under Chip Zdarsky, they had Riddler out of left field, just one issue. All of a sudden, he has his own tech company. Right. He's like a competitor against Wayne Industries. It was very weird. It was very short-lived, and it kind of went nowhere. So they're kind of putting Riddler back in
forever.
Yeah. So in this, he's like, well, I knew it wouldn't last long. Edward, let me punch you a few times and get you out of here. And he kind of put some paws on him unfoundedly before he checked on Croc first, didn't swing on him. Maybe he didn't want to get bit. But with Riddler, he's like, no, I'm not dealing with you. Just pop, pop, pop. Gave him the KFC 3-piece right to the face. But and it kind of ends with them having to go look into this tech a little bit farther in the next issues. Stealth Suit was cool, though. Stealth Suit was really cool. That's one thing that Fraction's doing really interesting, is leaning into highlighting and focusing on some of the bat gadgets and different things and all that. But this is going to play to a very different reader base than Absolute Batman or Batman and Robin. They're doing a good job in a sense, like with there being so many bat titles, there has to be a mandate at DC. Batman pays the bills.
Right.
So there has to be a lot of bat titles. They all have to be really different. And it's interesting more than it is like exciting right now.
Yeah, they're doing little, if you read like the Legion of Superheroes, like way back, every time there was a new Legion of Superhero, they put this little bubble next to him and they would list his name and the planet they came from, what their powers were. They're doing the same thing in Batman with the bat gadgets and the stealth suit. They like pointed out, for exactly
take it easy, homie.
What it is that that you're looking at and how it may work and things like that. So,
yeah, dude, you're welcome back anytime.
Yeah,
I absolutely encourage and love anybody with different dissenting opinions. I'd rather talk to people and debate and argue about this stuff in good faith and sit here and just pretend like it's all good or it's all bad. I'm enjoying Batman and Robin currently run with Damian. Yeah, I think that one's starting to get a lot more steam too. That was one that I opted out of. And Simone DeMeo was doing the artwork on it early on. I love Simone DeMeo's art. Just I'm really resigned myself to not pick up all the Bat titles. I get Batman, I get Detective Comics, which is really good right now too, and I get Absolute Batman, and then like little specials and miniseries like the First Night, the Prestige format Black Label is out right now, but those only come out like once every couple months. And Night Fight is out right now. You know, they're kind of forced to buy more Batman than you necessarily will want. But
Philip K. Johnson is building it seems as though he's building his own mythology, kind of like he did with Superman and World and things like that.
I need to go back and just binge it. But I just wasn't interested in the early synopsis, like Damien's going to college. I'm like, I don't give a shit. We all lose if we can't talk things out. Yeah, dude. The whole point, like I said earlier, the fun part about the fandom thing is the fan part, arguing about this stuff. And at the end of the day, it's just comic books. And at the end of the day, they're just movies. Like they don't pay our bills. They don't put food on our table. They don't take our kids to school. It's meant to be fun. And for me, a huge fun part about it is debating this stuff, arguing this stuff. I just enjoy arguing. Good faith arguing, not like fussing with people, but that stuff's fun.
Those are all my books. But
I was about to say, I got two more, but I doubt you have them because going to the Miller world. Y'all know I love my Mark Miller stuff. Talk about I limit myself to Batman. I don't limit anything when it comes to the Miller world. I get it all. I read it all. I love it all. Paul knows firsthand. He was there in person for some of this, and on it was a little bit over a year ago now. I told him, like, I'm going to read all the Miller world before the next issue of Big Game comes out. Well, I didn't read it all before the next issue, but I finished it all before that story happened. And it stays back here. It's what's behind the Turok there. But I was with Paul in person in Florida when I picked up Wanted in trade paperback. I'm like, I'm not going to stop. I picked up Big Game #1, the Frank Quitely cover, and Wanted, and I have not looked back. I'd read Mark Miller stuff, but I'd never gone through and read all the Miller World stuff. And most of it from the Miller World, the indie stuff, I hadn't read. But Huck Volume 2, Big Bad World, wrapped up this week with a banger of an oversized issue. It was revealed that this kid that was on the way, it was his. It has powers. This shadow entity that was going around knocking out all these people with these abilities that are tied to Huck's origins and abilities, like his mother had, and who he had been helping throughout this one. They got shut down. They got shut down hard, and it was wild, and it was in a very, very Huck way. It was with being polite. He's like the nicest guy on the planet, and he found a way to stop them by making them see the world through his eyes. And I'm like, what a twist. What a cool twist. And it was great. Meanwhile, the worst person in the world, Nemesis. So he's getting ready to just like the cover shows, you see he's reading a book to kids. You see what it's around his neck there, right?
Can't exactly see it, but oh wait, what is that? Oh, the gas mask.
Yeah, and see what he's sitting on, and he's surrounded by no one's safe. No one's safe. Yeah, he's about to do that. Unfortunately, he gets tipped off. We go even further behind the scenes with this CIA agent who is embedded in his ranks, which I'm telling you, I've read all of the Nemesis stuff. He knows she's there from day one. There's no way that they don't. But she's impersonating this other bad guy girl, because Nemesis has amassed some of the biggest hitters from across the globe. But because of the biggest hitters, a lot of people have never seen them before, don't know them, only have weird ways to contact them and stuff. And she's trying to work her way up her ranks to try to find out where he's going to be, when he's going to be, so they can bust him. But someone else is tipped off the authorities, and they managed to completely surround Nemesis and stop him from doing this. Which, when I saw that cover, I'm like, oh my God, dude, this guy has no chill. Talking about Mark Miller.
Right.
But they stop him from doing that. It's the first time ever he's been stopped from doing anything. Spared all these kids. And it ends with him being surrounded and being beat up with batons, which that won't last. But I'm excited. It says Nemesis Forever. It's supposed to be the final one. No way, Jose. But it's super good. I hope this leads to a Big Game Volume 2. But yeah. And he's got a new Kickstarter out right now, which I hate backing Kickstarters. I'll just wait for it to come out. But I haven't read Psycho Sam yet, which came out Kickstarter first with JRJR, which And then this new one, I forget the name of it. It's like fantasy world is coming to reality and stuff. And I think they're already working on some kind of movie something for it, because he keeps posting all these teasers and stuff about being on a movie studio holding the issue 1 of this book that's being kickstarted.
Miller hyping his own stuff? Who would have thought?
Hey, he hypes other people's stuff too. He was hyping up Predator Badlands. I got to check that out still. Wow. One of his annual read for me. It's so good, dude. It's so good. And if you like that, I hope you read Big Game, because the fraternity returns in Big Game. You got to read the original 4-issue Nemesis that came out right behind Kick-Ass. It stands on its own outside of the Miller world. Originally it was part of it, but when he did Nemesis Reloaded, he redid Nemesis. He did a forward to it and said that out of all of his properties, out of Kick-Ass, Kingsman, everything, that Nemesis has been his most lucrative one, because it keeps getting picked up. It's been optioned and it gets getting passed around by studios forever. And no one actually ever goes through with making it. And he said to himself all these years later, if I was sitting down to write this book for the first time, would I do it differently? And what would I do differently? And that's Nemesis Reloaded. And that's really when he leaned into this whole Miller World stuff and has kept it going consistent since. But in that, they changed the backstory to where it wasn't just these unnamed ultra wealthy that bankroll Nemesis just to shake up and cause havoc in the world every now and then, just so that they can be the ones to steer the pieces behind it. It's actually the fraternity from Wanted that's behind funding and steering this guy. It was brilliant. Yeah, Wanted is great. Super great. What is going on, Christina? Caught us right at the end here. But those were the last 2 I had. It was a fantastic week for books. I was reading this right before we went live. I didn't get a chance to finish it. But Kaisei Universe continues. And then I read these today. The finished Godzilla Monster Piece Theater, which I think this is the best Godzilla story I've read since Godzilla Here There Be Dragons Volume 1. If you're a fan of literary characters, Jay Gatsby, Dracula, Sherlock Holmes, Captain Nemo, anything Jules Verne, hell, even the Universal horror movie monsters get brought into issue 3 there. It's a 3-issue miniseries where they bring in and tie all that with Tom Scioli's beautiful, unique art style. It was one amazing adventure. It was super cool. Never read anything like it before. Highly recommend. Yeah, that's all I got.
Well, I got 2.
That's going to do it. Appreciate everybody coming, hanging out. Go check out that Frankenstein movie for yourself. Welcome to Derry, episode 3. We'll dive into that next week, as well as new books and any kind of news or kind of stuff that happens between now and then. I appreciate everybody coming, hanging out with us. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff to help the eternal battle against the YouTube algorithm. And until next time, as always, I'm Mark. That's Paul. But we are Legion.
Is that it? Is that all you got?